Hey everybody, how you doing? We're back for another fun day of making money in the markets. It's your buddy Uncle Bruce here. Stock Markets with Bruce is the name of the channel. We try to explain the market in plain English. That's what we're about. Try to figure out what's happening and just talk about it. Um, and then there are those viewers of mine who are having a field day right now with these markets and will for quite some time. The stock markets are handing over dollars to certain market players and taking dollars away from other players in the market. The winners are option writers. If you're writing call options right now, the market is working for you. It is delivering for you. It is giving you cash flow. It's giving you dollars, protecting you against downside dips. A market that doesn't go up and just stays flat or goes lower, oh gosh, do option writers ever make money doing that? It's just a constant source of cash coming in. And we've got a bunch of stocks we're watching that are fitting the bill perfectly. Congratulations to all the viewers here who have really adopted the idea of writing options to make some money. We try to explain that in plain English as much as we can. I have made classes for this. They're available on my website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca. You can get 4 classes for the price of 3 until the end of this week, and then the deal is over. Enjoy yourself. There are 12 classes to get, so if you want all 12, buy 9, get 12. But pay for 3 and get 4 is the deal, and it's become rather popular with a bunch of you. And I congratulate those of you who are watching these classes. A number of you have out and out told us here, Bruce, over the weekend, I watched 2 of those classes I bought, and I'm already writing contracts just like you talked about in those, and it's working. It's unbelievable. Well, that's the name of the game, kids. You write an option that is going to expire in a few weeks, and the time premium on that thing is just shrinking every hour that it gets closer to its expiry date. It makes every Friday a payday or sooner, and it's amazing how much cash is in the options market for the taking. This is how pension funds, mutual funds, hedge funds make a lot of their dough. They hold positions in companies from A to Z, from Dow 30 to NASDAQ 100s to S&P 500 stocks to Russell 2000s and everything in between. And they write options on these stocks all the time to the gamblers that are on the casino floor looking for the mother of all short squeeze payoffs. And you're just handing these folks a lottery ticket going, here's a lottery ticket on my stock. Why don't you give me some money for this ticket and take a chance on my shares? And 9 times out of 10, if not 19 out of 20 times, you score a win again and again and again. The one time you get caught is if the stock goes higher than you thought it would in a short period of time. Well, then you roll over your contract. You buy back the one contract, sell another one at a higher strike price, and continue on, because you're the casino. You are the casino. You're not the gambler on the floor, and you're never going away. They come and go. When they run out of dough, they go somewhere else. And believe me, the players on the casino floor lose money all the time. And so welcome to the show, and welcome to the way to make some money in this market. Absolutely make some money. Right now, this market does not know what to do. The Dow is down 15 points, 10 points. The S&P is off 1/4 of a point. The NASDAQ is unchanged. We have an hour to go before we open. The market doesn't know what to do. That's bad. That's good for option writers. Bad for market players because they don't know where to go. We're down 32 cents on the barrel of crude. We've got conflicting stories coming out about crude, but the one consistent story I keep getting is that the need for crude oil in China is dropping, and that the supply of crude is rising. So more crude oil will be in the market in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months than there is now. There's some supply chain issues up and down. Okay, if you take the Russia oil out of the equation, if you take, say, half of Russia's exports out of the equation, where, okay, the Europeans may not buy as much Russian oil as they used to, but rogue nations and friends of Russians may buy their crude. The Russians end up selling half the amount. Well, we're taking 3.5 billion barrels off the market. That's what we're doing. On the other hand, okay, 3.5 billion barrels coming out of the market. There's probably 3.5 billion barrels of production coming into the market. And so there's the great equilibrium. And I keep coming back to one little point that I'll make for everyone watching this show. I don't care where you live. If we were able to simultaneously, systematically use 1 gallon of gas less a day, even a week, the price of crude would drop to $50 a barrel. There would be so much crude sloshing around because we're not using enough of it, where we would screw up the metrics so badly for all the prognosticators and estimators. The amount of fuel that would be around would be just a problem. There would be too much fuel lying around with nowhere to go, because if we don't burn it, then it stays in its liquid form, and the pipelines and storage facilities can only hold so much, and then they have to cut back everywhere else. With an oversupply of distillates, oversupply of crude, you're going to have gigantic oil containers, shipping containers everywhere in the world waiting to offload their crude with nowhere to put it. And it would just collapse the market. A 1 gallon a day reduction in our usage of fuel, or even a gallon a week, 50 gallons a year less per person in North America, Europe, the industrialized world, would create havoc with the price of crude, would create havoc in the Middle East, would create havoc with nations that are not friends of ours, would create havoc in Russia and its sister states. It would bankrupt high flyers like you can't believe. It would take nations that are, right now think that they're, the answer to all the prayers, and would take these guys down a number of notches. It would be better for the planet because we'd burn less of it. That would be better. That could probably be the greatest single improvement in our atmosphere. We just use a little less of it, and right there, that automatically does not put millions of tons of carbons into the atmosphere. I mean, it's just 101. I noticed something here in Canada. I want to mention this to you folks who are watching around the world. Those of you, who are not necessarily in Canada. In Canada right now, there's an election coming up. I think it's in Ontario, which is our most populated province. That's where Toronto is, Ottawa is. I think it's 9.5 million people in Ontario, and there's 35 million in Canada. So, good chunk of the population over there. Anyway, the premier of Ontario is a Conservative Party guy, supposedly a very right-wing kind of person. But he's coming up with all kinds of work projects and ways to keep Ontario going. Like any other politician, this guy goes where he has to go to keep the opinion polls up. They're talking about an arrangement over there where they're trying to offer municipalities that have a transit system. They're trying to give them a grant, subsidy. I suppose that's the proper word. The province of Ontario wants everyone in Ontario to only pay $1 for a bus fare, a subway fare to get to work and back. $1 to get to work, $1 to get back to work. The reason they want to do this, and this is going to run $700 million a year. It's a huge subsidy, because transit fares are more than $1 nowadays. They're $2-3 a day, depending on if you just buy a ticket or if you buy a monthly pass and all this. But they want to make it $1 a day. And the thinking on this is, the mentality is, if people know that for $1 they can go from their home, catch a bus in their neighborhood, get a transfer from the bus driver, get on the subway with the transfer, get to downtown to their offices, and on the way back, they pay a $1 at the subway station with a transfer, get to their bus stop, get on the bus with the transfer, get home, $1 down, $1 back. No parking, no gasoline expenses, no maintenance on your car, no chance of a speeding ticket from cops that are, bored as hell and are trying to raise money for their towns. If you think about the economic impact that would have on people's pocketbooks, that would save them a lot of money. Number two, you get millions of people doing transit instead of driving their vehicles. Guess how much gas you're not burning up, right? Tons of fuel not being used. That would be a better thing for the environment. There would be losers, the gas station operators, the oil companies, the mechanics won't be quite as busy. The tire guys won't be changing as many tires as often because, again, mileage would go down. But there would be the winners, and the energy savings would be huge because to move people on mass transit is a lot less per person than just driving individual cars, stop and go traffic and all that. The parking lot operators would be losers in downtown cores, which would probably have a price war now between parking garage operators to lower the cost of parking. I mean, it's this and that, right? Yin and yang, isn't it? The government's mentality is we'll spend $1 billion a year. We'll pay $1 billion a year out of our budget to get people to go on transit for $1 each way. And the payoff for us is these millions of riders, these folks, cumulatively speaking, will have so much extra money in their pocket at the end of each day, each week, each month, because they're not spending maybe $20 a day each to get to work anymore with parking, or those who are paying right now $3.50 to get into work and $3.50 to get home. They're paying $7 a day. Now they're paying $2. That's saving them $5 a day after tax. That's a $100 a month after tax savings per commuter. Now you multiply that by millions of commuters. It's hundreds of millions of dollars a month not being spent. In other words, the money is in their pocket to go into something else because the money will be spent, but on what? And now the government is going, this will spur economic activity in other areas. And that might be a cup of Starbucks a week, or it might be going out to McDonald's for a meal. It might be a little bit of extra grocery money, whatever it is. It's a lower cost of living. It's a lower cost of being an employed person and or a student or whatever your purpose is to go from wherever you got to go to wherever you got to go. Got to see the doctor. Can you do it with mass transit rather than a car? $1 each way might get you thinking. Uber drivers won't like it. Cab drivers won't like it. Again, it's a realignment of the economic forces. But the environmentalists are going, this would be a good thing. This would be a really good thing. You get people into subway cars instead of expressways. Hell yeah, that would be a heck of a bigger move. The carbon footprint would drop dramatically in each of the communities that this would be implemented, because studies show if it's super cheap to take transit, people will take transit. But if it's too expensive or the higher it costs, the fewer will do it. They'll find excuses to say, no, I'm going to go in my car instead of that. Interesting thought. I've been noticing also that, and you've noticed, I'm sure, in the last 2 years, how many dollars from federal governments, state governments, provincial governments, depending on where you live, how many dollars have flown from governments to people and businesses through the pandemic? Billions, trillions of dollars. And I look at this solution of a $1 transit fare, and I go, man, this is so simple. Yeah, the city of Toronto might lose $1 million a day in revenues from passengers on the subway systems, but they're getting the $1 million a day paid to them by the provincial government instead, because the provincial government is going, well, we'd rather give you $1 million a day in subsidy money to convince a whole bunch of people to take transit instead of taking cars. It's just that important to us. And the thinking has to be, the money used to come out of the pockets of the commuter. Now it's coming out of the taxpayers of the province, but the commuter has the dollars to spend again, to spend on whatever. And there are those commuters out there who have, they're single, they're married with children, single parents with children, whatever the circumstances. This money is in the system to be spent elsewhere in the economic system, and the government gets its slice of the action on the turnover of the dollars. I mean, sales tax on everything you buy, income tax on profits made by corporations, income tax made by people making money. This money just makes more money in the system available, and it rolls over, as we know, 3, 4, 5 times every time. An interesting, thing to think about. Anyway, if that were ever to be done across a country, if it were ever to be done, say in the United States, where New York commuters, Philadelphia commuters, Baltimore, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, Los Angeles, San Diego, Frisco, Dallas, Houston, if transit was heavily invested in and upgraded with an infrastructure program, and the fares to the users were rock bottom cheap, not necessarily completely free, but very close to it, the ridership number would rise, the carbon footprint would drop, it would change. It would change a whole bunch of stuff. Car companies wouldn't like this. They would not be happy with it because they want to move millions of units. Gas operators, oil companies, of course. The Saudis wouldn't like it because America would all of a sudden not want or not need so many millions of barrels a day of energy anymore, of crude. That would cut off certain countries' exports to the U.S. dramatically. It would probably make the U.S. completely self-reliant on energy. It might even have the U.S. in a surplus. Yeah, anyway, I just throw that out there. That is an election issue right now in Ontario. This $1 transit fare deal, and it isn't like a 1-year deal. The government is committing this would be permanent. This is not a 1-year wonder thing. Just get people on the bus. It'd be a permanent deal, written into legislation, and the budget would be set up as such. See if it flies. I don't know. We do have winter in Canada, so there are people in the winter who don't want to take the bus and trudge through the snow to get to their, to their transit station. But in any event, it's not perfect for every single person, but it is an issue that's on there. I mentioned it. All right. What else am I here to talk about today? Interest rates. That's coming up Wednesday. Day after, tomorrow. Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, the Fed will announce their interest rate number. I've noticed this past week, and I've told you folks this week and last week, how interest rates have been creeping higher and higher on the bond market. The U.S. 10-year Treasury hit 3% last night. At the moment, is 2.957%. It's just a hair under 3%. The euro in Europe is at 105.66. The pound is at 125.55. And there is whisper rumors that it is possible that the euro might go down to 103 to 100. It might be at par with the US dollar through the summer, and that the pound might back off to 120, which would be one of the lowest levels in decades. This is just talk. It's a lot of smart people talking about this who kind of know their stuff. We'll wait to see how that all happens. Obviously, if the euro were to reach par with the American dollar, for Americans, they're going to be going, this is great. Mercedes-Benz is coming in here. Beamer's coming into the U.S. Any merchandise coming from Europe is cheaper than it was a year ago when it was 122 to the dollar. The bad news is the U.S. goods going to Europe are 20% more expensive this year than last year. That's the bad news. But the Europeans, their mentality over there is let the currency fall because we need lower prices of our goods to the rest of the world to keep us from going into a deeper recession. We're in recession already over here. We don't want to go into a deeper recession. The Chinese are using the same mentality. They are also allowing their currency to drop, the yuan. They have slowly been putting pressure on the yuan to get it to drop. The Japanese have decided we too are going to allow our currency to drop against the US dollar because, again, Japan lives on exports. They import raw materials, export finished goods. The Japanese want to be cheaper on your shelves at Target, Walmart, Costco, wherever you like to shop. Japanese goods want to be competitive. The winners are, in a way, Americans, Canadians, those of us tied to the US dollar very closely, because our standard of living is rising as our currencies strengthen around the world. The catch of it all is our bankers at our Bank of Canada, the Federal Reserve, do they want or will they tolerate a stronger domestic dollar vis-a-vis the outside world as a good thing? Now, on inflation, the American economy wants to bring down inflation. Well, one way to bring inflation down is to have your currency go up in value. One way to get your currency to go up in value is you raise domestic interest rates. You pay more money for money you borrow to the outside world. In other words, making US treasuries more attractive to the outside world. They buy up US dollar backed securities, which means they're buying up US dollars, and there are fewer to go around, and up goes the value of the US dollar. It's as simple as that. The one way that it's one way to keep costs down, because import costs will drop into the US and into Canada for us. We also will benefit with our higher dollar going up against these currencies. That gives us a higher standard of living, a lower cost of living, less inflation pressure. That puts less pressure on employers to have to pay as much every year. Instead of increasing payrolls by 4, 5, 6% a year, it might be 1 or 2 or 3% a year, which is where it used to be. That is the objective, and what have you. But if every country is doing it at the same time, nobody wins. It doesn't get us anywhere. And so there is this, again, bottom line for the Americans and Canadians: our goods and our services cost more for other countries to buy. And so, okay, if I have a class on how to be an option writer online, and it costs $100 to buy it, for an American, it's $100 to buy it. It's just the same price as it's always been. For a European to buy my class, it might be 5% more in their currency than it used to be, and that might hold them off, and then that affects me personally. So this is how it works. It's just the way it goes. Anyway, we'll be watching interest rates tomorrow with the Fed, and watching other countries' currencies and interest rate policies against what's happening from the Federal Reserve. Lots of trillions on the line over there. Down 112 on crude this morning. We're at 104.05. The talk is constantly about whether or not crude is needed as much going forward or not in various countries. We'll find out about that. And then the China lockdown. The China lockdown thing is still out there. I don't hate bringing it up. I have to bring it up. But what I'm finding, and I'm hoping you don't mind, is when I mention it, it's not like I don't think you're not listening to me. I have to keep mentioning it because it is a more and more dominant thing. There are more now estimates coming out about from economists, for example. More economic forecasts are being released that mention the China lockdown. It is becoming a larger and larger factor in GDP estimates for every country in the world. And the China lockdown is going to cause problems for dozens of countries around the world, certainly 100 countries around the world. We're all going to be affected by it. And whether we're affected by it by just having to wait an extra 2 weeks or an extra month to get our new MacBook Pro because it's back ordered, or whether Apple can only bring in 500,000 iPhones a week instead of 800,000 iPhones a week, or whether electric car companies cannot get 100% production out the door, only 60% production out the door. All of these factors with chips and home appliances and lawnmowers and barbecues and anything else we want to buy, if it has anything to do with China in a final assembly way or parts going out to other countries for final assembly. It's going to affect us all one way or the other. And it's going to knock some companies' financials out of whack. In your life, if you have to wait 3 days longer to get one of these, is that going to ruin your financial prospects for the next decade? No. But if you're the if you're a seller of those and you have 50 phones delayed going to customers, and each phone makes you $100 in profit, you're talking 5,000 a week in money that isn't coming your way all of a sudden. And if this piles up week after week after week, you're losing some serious coin here on a personal small company basis. You're Home Depot and you sell Weber barbecues, and Weber barbecues are made in China, and it's barbecue season coming up, kids. July 4th, it's coming. There is a need for hundreds of thousands of new barbecue units to be marketed to the clients of Home Depot and Lowe's and everywhere else you can buy a barbecue set from. This is going to be a problem because there will be shortages of barbecue units this year. There will be shortages, and this is going to cost a lot of money to a lot of people, including the charcoal people, if these are charcoal fired, including the propane suppliers, if they're propane connected, including installers who connect barbecues to natural gas lines at people's houses. Those guys won't have as much business. This goes down the line, including your local grocery store that was hoping you were going to be buying a bunch of tenderloins or a bunch of T-bones or a bunch of burgers and dogs. You're not holding a barbecue this year. This is an economic calamity millions of times over. It has its effect. This is just economic slowdowns, little cuts, a little cut here, a little cut there, a little cut there, a little cut there. And eventually people are bleeding out. The economy is bleeding out from all kinds of leakage that it wasn't expecting. It shouldn't be there. It really shouldn't be there, but it is. And we are so addicted to this just-in-time delivery game that we play, that we've perfected as a species. Mankind, is anything but, if anything, is inventive as all get up. And the sheer logistics of a company like Home Depot with these mega stores all over North America, for example, that are amazingly stocked with thousands of different products, always stocked with that. It's amazing how they pull that off. It is an absolute logistical achievement, major mankind achievement to be able to do it. And when it comes to picking up a can of WD-40 and a couple of nuts and bolts and a couple of latches for some windows and some wood and a hammer and some nails and a screwdriver, I mean, it's unbelievable what you can get over there, from the tiniest thing to the most complex thing. If it's big, we'll deliver it. If it's complicated, we'll help you install it. If it's paint you want, just pick the color you want. Bring that piece of paper over here. We'll mix the paint for you on site right now. Shopper, go walk around. 20 minutes from now, the paint will be ready. What? Mankind has come an incredible long distance, as it continues to do, and we're incredibly inventive, but we are also addicted to just-in-time delivery of all these different components to make all this seamlessly work. And when it works well. But when there's a glitch anywhere in the system, it stops it dead. And now you have economic fallout, because people are standing around going, well, we were supposed to put a patio in the back of that guy's house this weekend or today. We're supposed to start that, and the wood didn't arrive. Or the guy pouring the concrete, he's behind, or whatever the reasons are. I mean, there were delays on another job, which is now creating delays on our job, which means we're not going to get the patio built down the road later this week. Oh, and that garage we're supposed to build next week over that, we're not going to be able to do that one on time either. Here goes the domino effect of economic interruption. And that's what we're witnessing, and that's why the markets are not performing very well. Again, inflation, interest rates, and expectations. That's what we're all about. That's why option writers are going, this is great. We're writing options on good quality companies that are almost delivering perfection, but not quite. And so the shares are not delivering perfection, which means the options are delivering premiums, wonderful cash flow premiums. And there you go. Welcome all to the show. We have 29 minutes to go before we start trading for the day. And it's great that you're here. Appreciate it. We're doing a class this weekend, just so you're aware, if you haven't heard. This Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time, I will be live with Jennifer as my moderator for class number 13, lucky 13, stink bids, stink offers, and the psychology of the markets. This one is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to really concentrate on the stink offers and stink bids with you guys for sure, because this has become a big deal to a lot of you who are writing options, who are trying to buy shares in companies as shares are falling in price. There are many of you who are correct, always correct in your guess what the market's going to do next. You have a hunch that a stock is going to go up, or a stock is going to go down, or a stock is way oversold, or it's overbought, and you want to make a maneuver because of it. Where you falter, where you make a mistake, is in executing the purchase or the sale of whatever it is you're trying to buy and sell. And some of you get lucky and just can't believe your good fortune with a transaction. And some of you miss out by a country mile, or you act too soon on transactions and you miss the upside of the transaction that you worked so hard to find. You work really hard to figure out a stock. You should write a call against it, write 10 calls against it, and only to find that you made some money. Yep, you did, but boy, you left a lot on the table. Stink bids and stink offers can go a ton of a way, a long, long way, to alleviating that, but also helping you maximize your profit and minimizing risk. If you pull off the right stink offer, the right stink bid, you can eliminate risk upwards of 90%, and you can increase the chance of profits by an equal amount and the yield to your bottom line. The key here, though, is beyond that, you've got to know the mood and the psyche of who you're up against, because it isn't a machine. It isn't a monolithic skyscraper in New York. You're up against human beings, and you've got to be as sharp as they are, and you have to understand where their head is at. And this week's class is going to cover that on both angles. A lot of success in the market comes from being able to handle the psychological torture that goes with it. And many of you here have experienced psychological warfare, where you are an owner of a stock, it went the wrong way, and you forced yourself, with my encouragement, to wait it out. And in the case of option writing, say on GameStop goes from 85 a share to 185 a share in a week when it shouldn't do that. Many of you out there were psychologically tortured when that happened, because you're going, oh gosh, I wrote 100s, I wrote 105s, and the stock is now taking off. And we found our way through it all patiently, without worrying and panicking. The psychological game of the markets. And this is something that is learned and is acquired. And those who pick it up and those who can adapt to it win. Those who can't lose. And some people lose quietly and they fade away. Others lose and get really vocal about it and really don't like it. And it's all human nature, as it should be, because that is what we're talking about. We're talking about the market is people. And you have got to be able to read the poker table. It's kind of like being at the poker table and you're looking at everyone's faces and watching their body language. Unfortunately, playing the option market or the stock market, you don't get to look into the eyes of the opponent. You don't get to look at their body language because you only got your phone and maybe your laptop or maybe your iPad, and you have statistics and the market averages and the charts, and all that is supposed to give you the psychological info you need, the important data you need to be able to trade the market. My job in this class coming up is to help you understand the psychology of the market and to understand, to be able to read your opponent and where their head is at and why would their head be over there versus over here. The more you can perfect that, the increased odds you're going to have of winning on your trades. You're going to know when to hold them and you're going to know when to fold them. And we're going to go into not only the psychology, but now using that psychology with stink bids and stink offers to absolutely solidify your win on an option right and a buyback. And whether you're buying stock that's falling off or whether you're selling stock that's overpriced, we've got to go over all of that. So join me this Saturday, if you dare, to become that much smarter on how to be a smarter market player participant. 2:00 Eastern time this Saturday, live. If you would like to be in the class, I invite you to send me an email right here. Just say, Bruce, I want to be in your class. Please send me a link so I can make payment for the class, and you'll confirm me in, and then we'll guarantee you a spot. You can join us live, just like me right here. There'll be a whiteboard behind me, so I can write down all kinds of examples of what we're going to be talking about, stink bids, stink offers, and so on. And you're going to get that much smarter as to what's going on, and you're going to be a better, more refined trader because you're investing in your craft. And that's what I'm asking you to do from time to time. Take my classes that I've recorded, or be a live participant where you can ask questions directly right on the spot. The class should take about ballpark around 2 hours or so. There's no deadline on it. I'll go until we've had enough. Usually about 2 hours. Jen will be the moderator. She will take all of your questions and she will then concisely put them together and say, okay, guy, here are a couple of questions that seem to be coming out at you. You said this, they're reacting like that. You said that, they want to know this. And I don't mind whatsoever stopping in the middle of my class going, okay, let's address those comments and then let's get back to where we were. It seems to work rather well. Once the class is done, those of you who participated in the class, you will get an email from me in about a week with a final edited version of the class for your permanent collection. You'll be able to rewatch it all you want. That's included in the price of being in the live audience. Those of you who can't make the class, you're going to have to wait about a week until after the class is done for the edited version to be posted on my website. But I'll let you know when it's up and running, and then you guys can go over there and acquire it as a standalone class anytime you want down the road. And there you have it. So yeah, there you go. Send me an email right there, ASAP. We need to know how many are going to be here. We're going to find out in the next day or two how many folks are going to be here this Saturday, and we'll get you locked in, and we'll get ready to fire up the old whiteboard and get going, and we'll excuse me, we'll get you into the class and get you educated on how everything is working. Thank you all for your support and thumbs ups today, and also those of you who've become members of this channel, thank you very much. We have 125 thumbs ups and counting. Thank you. If you hit that thumbs up button, let me know what number you are. I would appreciate it. That helps me keep a track on just how many folks have hit a thumbs up button today. The quicker we hit that thumbs up button, the more people will be referred to us by the YouTube artificial intelligence computers. So those guys are so slick. All righty. Thank you all. Let's move on. Where are we here? Okay, comments. There we go. Vernon Edwards, thank you for being 93. Ed Gregory is thumbs up number 92. Alberto's thumbs up's 87. Thank you, all of you, for that. Appreciate it. And let's see what else is going on here. Good morning from Lorraine. Hi, Lorraine. How are you? Good morning. And TIF is saying that Rocket Lab managed to pull off catching a rocket with a helicopter trick yesterday. This is big, guys. Rocket Lab can now reuse its rockets. The only other company to do that is SpaceX. Apparently, they did catch it, and then they had to release it after there was an issue with weight distribution or something like that. But that's just a glitch. They have, in effect, proven that the technology seems to work. So there seems to be some hope there. Very good. I note that the Rocket Lab stock this morning is up about a nickel, up about 9 cents to 7.55. Only 36,000 traded, but we'll see if it has a nice shot going forward. It got some good press last night, so that's good to see. Credit Savage, thank you for being number 117 today on the thumbs up meter. And Cindy saw that too. She saw the stock did move after hours. Credit, good morning, my fellow simpletons and Uncle Bruce. Looks like we're getting haircuts all around. I sold some covered calls. I'm so looking to buy those back on a nice pullback. Hope you guys make a little coin today. I noticed that I see right now GameStop is at the moment down 58 cents to 118.99, coming into the final 19 minutes before we start trading. And the shares are not on the short sale restricted list, but they varied. They fluctuated yesterday from 112 to 125. That was the high-low range yesterday. Right now, 118.99 is where they're at. All righty. What else is going on? Mallow is thumbs up number 127. Thank you, Mallow Shark. Credit Savage says, so Uncle Bruce, so employees want to unionize at a few Maryland stores, and seems there's an antitrust EU issue the company is dealing with. So do you think this has caused the stock to nosedive a bit this week? What shares? I'm not sure what company. Unionization, some people think it's the big boogeyman. It's like the real nightmare of nightmares for businesses. It depends, I guess, on just the relationship between the employer and the employees. But there are certain organizations that get to a certain size, and then they are not as personal anymore as they used to be when they were smaller. Obviously, if you have a retail operation like a Starbucks, and the Starbucks franchise is run by a husband, a wife, whatever, and then they have employees beneath them. They might have 30 employees, of which 20 are part-timers, 10 are full-timers. I don't know. There might be a manager that handles all employee stuff. But if the franchisee has 2 or 3 of these locations, they can't handle all the people. I mean, there's too many people to handle. A Starbucks organization that might have a regional manager looking after 10 locations or 20 or 50 locations, how much time can they spend on any one location per week? I mean, if you're theoretically working 40 hours a week and you have 40 locations that you're in charge of monitoring, you're giving an hour to each location. Well, you can't, because you have bathroom break, coffee breaks, you have travel time between locations, you have Zoom calls, whatever. You might have 15 minutes per location per week to spend. And the locations that are running smoothly, you almost ignore them and you zero in on the ones that are the problem. Employees at these places will feel isolated, and they may feel in some cases that they're maybe their grievances aren't being looked after, or they're just issues that aren't being fixed and they're just upset about it, or they're frustrated about it. I don't know. And so the union drive comes in, and now all of a sudden you have per store a union rep. And you have union reps coming by to make sure that the employer is doing what the employer promised they would do for you, or whatever. And some employees will buy into that notion. Can that be good for stock? Maybe not. Can it be bad for stock? Maybe. Can it, in effect, make a company more efficient? It depends on the union-company relationship. And therein lies the problem. Because from what I'm reading and seeing and observing, there's a drive for unionization in the U.S. in certain areas of the economy. but the entities that are being targeted for unionization don't want unionization. And so there's this automatic clash of philosophies between owner and union people, and it's just going to make it worse. And this is probably a piling on of the frustration that people have been going through psychologically for 2 years with this virus. In 2019, it wasn't all peaches and cream, but in 2022, there are far more frustrations that people are having today than they had in the past. And for some, it might feel that unionization is an answer to this. That's their only answer to the frustrations they feel between them and their employer or their manager or what have you. Some employees just feel that, look, I love the company that I work for, but I just don't like the guy I have to report to. The guy I report to or the girl I report to, they're part of a team of people that the company has put together, and they're slave drivers. They're just making life miserable for us. We want to eliminate those people. We don't want them dominating us like this anymore. We feel there's a better way to do it, but the company doesn't have a better way to replace these people and the philosophy that they're being driven to push. That's where the union comes in. They come in the middle and go, okay, we're going to be the buffer between, management and their hard driving bottom line results philosophy and you, the employee, so that you don't get directly affected by this overbearing group of folks who are just merciless and driving you nuts. And so we'll be the ones in the middle to stop them. Well, that sounds great, but again, for companies, it might be the death knell of efficiency, and it's going to cause issues. And this has been the problem long term. Now, in various countries, it's different. In the U.S., the union-employer relationship has generally not been great. Automotive workers, the relationship between automotive union employees in the 60s and the 70s and the car companies was not happy times. Ford Motor back in the 1910s and 20s and 30s, they used to have guys with clubs to convince Ford employees not to join a union. And anyone who was handing out leaflets to join the union noticed that they were getting slightly bruised by these wooden clubs over the backs of their heads. It's never been a happy, smooth time. In other countries, it's evolved, and in a place like Germany and other countries in Europe, the union movement, the federal government, the provincial or state governments, and employers are all on the same side. They've all decided to be one big team group, because the corporations realize and their shareholders realize that if you have a happy unionized group of employees, they're far more productive. And the government has figured out that if you don't have strikes and you negotiate labor settlements, well in advance and in an orderly way, you don't get these wildcat strikes, and you have tax revenue coming in on a constant basis, which means companies never are late in delivering goods to their intended clients, which gives a sense of stability to the whole system. And the German government has figured out that a car is not just steel. A car is rubber, plastic, steel, materials, software, chips, wiring, electrical, mechanical, hydraulic. A car is a very complicated machine that needs a whole lot of things to go just right. And vehicles assembled in Germany are assembled by unionized workers at every level of the vehicle's production, from every raw material to finished good to part to final assembly of the car. You can't have the paint department go on strike next week. That screws up the whole dang factory. You can't have the tire guys go on strike because that screws up all kinds of problems. So the government, the unions, and the businesses are on the same team to let's work it out. Let's always work it out. And let's not negotiate a new contract once every 3 years. Let's constantly negotiate and work out our issues all the time. every day of the week, all the time. And if we do it that way, we really avoid massive issues that come up that have been festering for months and months and months and months and months. And that's the difference. But the philosophy of unionization and free enterprise is different depending on where in the world you are. In certain countries, if you're in any kind of a unionization drive, you are an enemy of the state, or you're an enemy of the military that runs the state. There are certain places where that's unthinkable. The workers are peons and slaves and are treated as such. And in other countries, the workers are highly respected and are highly looked after and are highly encouraged to become better, higher senior management within these organizations through the unions and through the company and through the government. Hence the European model to a degree. But again, there's no perfect system. And unfortunately, in the US and Canada, there's this adversarial relationship. And I get a question just like this one right here. Bruce, unionization, should I dump the stock? What should I do? Should I get out of the stock because they're going to have a union? And there's the issue. Nick, Uncle Bruce, I have a question on Texas Instruments. I was nicely slumping down yesterday, and all of a sudden someone was buying a big bunch at the end of the day. What might be going on with the stock? Any idea? I need to get this below 160 for a few minutes. I just want to buy it back. Well, Texas Instruments it has warned all of us that the China issue is a problem. Texas Instruments has come out and said it in their earnings report, the latest quarterly, that the China problem is a problem for them. The stock has not, let's say, utterly ignored that comment, but it has not collapsed because of that comment. I'll say it that way. The Texas Instruments shares were over 190 a share just here in the last, what was it, 29th of March. Here we are, May the 3rd. So, I mean, 5 weeks ago, the shares were over 190. They crapped out to the 168 level on the 26th of April. And here we are, May 3rd now at 174 even. We're unchanged this morning on the day. I don't expect the stock to have a $10 drop in one day. I think this stock is going to suffer from little nicks and cuts, and it's going to just slump back a bit more and a bit more. But to be fair, the 52-week range is 160 to 202, and it's 174 now. It is only $14 above its low of the year, and it's not going anywhere. This is not going to $400 a share. It's not going to $200 a share. They are going to continue to suffer from issues relating to just-in-time delivery, chips, and you name it, supply chain issues. And the China thing is a problem. Now, the guys at Texas Instruments, the guys and girls, they're on it. They're working on finding a way to stay ahead of these issues, but they're caught up in the world we live in like everyone else. And the markets have been under pressure with higher rates, higher inflation. That's affecting these guys as well. They're trading at 19.9 times earnings. That used to be considered cheap in the tech world. In high tech, under 20 was considered cheap a year ago. Today, that's not the case anymore. Now it's under 15, maybe under 12 that is cheap. And at 19.9, roughly 20 times earnings, this company may well be 20% too high. And so a $30 deduction in price over the next few months might be the play. And it might be a 145, 150 stock over the next few months, but not today. And there's the difference, Nick. You're in a hurry. You're a shorter. You're in a hurry. It backed off yesterday a little bit for you. It sure did, but it just didn't last. And talk about frustrating. Yeah, frustrating is right. But we did see a 500-point correction in the market from low to high, or 600 points bounce back. Now, this morning going into the market, are we going to have a little bounce this morning to continue that and then have a slump back 300 or 400 points? If that's the case, could Texas Instruments go from 174 to 174.5 to 171 to 170 sometime today? Yes, it could. Could it go lower than that? Yes, it could. Will the market only drop 100 or 200 points today and we'll be done with it? Or will the Dow decide, okay, we had a pause yesterday. We lost the Dow on Friday, 1,000 points Friday. We kind of were going to lose 500, 600 yesterday. Well, we didn't. But now today we are going to lose 500 points. And what about tomorrow with the interest rate rise? Are we going to lose another 500 points tomorrow? Could that put Texas Instruments at 164, 165 by Wednesday, Thursday of this week? Stay tuned. Anything is possible. I just don't see it going to 180, 190. That I don't see. But how fast it'll back off, there's the question. So we'll have to see what's going on. Okay. Let's go. Sorry, I've had not in my coffee yet. Apple union employees are trying to unionize. Let's see here. Scott Brewer had meetings all day today, just popping in to leave a like and just to say drink water, eat veggies, and take a walk. Have a great day. Thank you, Scott Brewer. Number 150 thumbs up. So I appreciate it. Let's see. And here we go. It's fascinating to me to see how when the USA led the world in union membership, we also led the world in quality of life and wages. That's right. When the United States had a very strong union movement in the late 40s, the 50s, and the 60s, even the 70s, but until the 60s, it was going great. The problem was that the unions and the employers in the late 60s and into the 70s, when inflation became a problem, were not on the same page anymore. They were now adversaries. And corporate America in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, they decided to go the Ronnie Reagan route. They decided to go with Ronald Reagan and figure out, why don't we go smaller government, smaller involvement, and we in corporate America are going to hire lobbyists to go to Washington to make it more difficult for the unions to mess with us. And we're going to call that a national security issue from a productivity point of view. Well, in reality, while corporate America was doing that with Ronald Reagan, what they were really doing was they were building factories in Mexico and overseas in Asia to put those union jobs elsewhere in the third world at pennies on the dollar. And the Rust Belt thing took off. That's when it all started. It was the 70s, the 80s, and it culminated in the 90s when massive factories disappeared from the face of the earth in the United States, including all the steel plants that used to be American steel plants. That all disappeared and went elsewhere. And there you go. We're still suffering from that. You're never getting back the millions of jobs that used to be held, the tens of millions of jobs used to be held by Americans in what's known as the Rust Belt today. Those are never coming back. It's impossible to consider that an American would buy a 4-door sedan for a family of 4 for $85,000 as a Chevrolet. Because if you had to build a Chevrolet from scratch with all USA parts, all USA labor, and all of the environmental rules and all of the inherent employee protections that are in, Chevrolet could not build a car for that kind of money. They're better off having a car built by Mazda and slapping a Chevrolet logo on it, which is what Ford has done over the years. It's the only way to go. That's why Ford doesn't make a car anymore. They only make trucks. Trucks on the road today, you see an F-150 on the road today, and it's the most popular selling vehicle in the United States. It is also the lowest tech vehicle produced in the world today. It's a truck, okay? Yeah, it's got climate control. Yeah, it's got power seats. Everybody has climate control and power seats. Mitsubishi makes stuff like that. The Ford vehicle is marketed and is given the illusion of incredible American ingenuity when it is 1960s to 1980s technology and with a few upgrades here and there. And that's it. It is just a truck. That's all it is. And it has this incredible loyalty following. The GMC truck, the Ram, it is the macho American thing. But It is an absolute loser when it comes to technology upgrades, efficiencies, you name it. It's just they're just gas guzzling trucks when it comes down to it, because the amount of fuel they burn is shocking. Europeans just can't believe it. Asians can't believe it. But in America, it's the American way, and there it is. And the unionization of America, when Ford and GM Chrysler were dominated by unions, yeah, those were good days until the 60s. But then when the 70s inflation kicked in, and then the 80s efficiency standards kicked in, when it became obvious that factories had to produce vehicles with fewer people, you had to bring the costs down. The unions and the company weren't able to play ball with each other. And there's the problem. And now, how do you downsize a car company from 100,000 employees to 70,000 employees? How do you get rid of 30,000 employees that are all unionized? How do you pay to retire all of these unionized workers from the 40s to the 50s, 60s who are now in their 60s? You got to carry those guys. All those pensions have to be paid for and funded going forward. How do you do it unless you're on the same page together? And it was not able to be done because government wasn't interested in being the middleman in the United States. You had government in Washington that was on the side of the corporate side of the equation rather than the public side, because it began to happen that major political donations started coming to political candidates from corporate America. And today, it's the super PACs. Corporate America can donate to a political hopeful anonymously, and the shareholders don't even know. So the shareholders of companies don't know that this company is supporting these candidates, and these candidates have pledged their support for the corporate vision that these entities have. And it could well be that in some cases they're very good to their employees, and it could well be that in some cases they're very bad to their employees. And there's the issue. And unionization pops up. We're open. We've started the trade. While I'm yapping away here, we're up 65 on the Dow. Welcome everybody. Stephen, good morning. What else is going on here? What should the stink limit be for Texas Instruments? Just wait, Nick, for it to back off. Just sit tight. It's off a dime this morning. Let's see the markets the next couple of hours, and we'll kind of go from there. You can always send me I don't know what your cost is. I forgot. What did you short it at? Let me know that, and we'll advise you. Nicholas, number 170 thumbs up. Larry, the bells have rung. We're up and running. We're going, baby. Here we are. The Dow's up 90. Let's take a look at my iPad, see if I can refresh this right now. I think Texas is off 80 cents. Texas Instruments 173.20. The Dow is up 97 at the moment. I've got. Hang on a second. Here we go. I got GameStop 118.88 down 68 odd cents. I think now I'm showing it at 119 something. No, 118.72. GameStop down 85 cents. Got Twitter up 13 cents. ATIP no change. Rocket Lab down a nickel. I got SoFi up 4. Carvana 57.59 down 288. I think 60 is resistance. 50 is support. AMC 15.25 now down 15.22 down 4 cents. Matterport 580 down 25 cents. It got a downgrade this morning from Wedbush. Wedbush gave it a downgrade today. Cyxtera down 4. ME up 1.5. Spire unchanged. Hycroft Mining down 2 to 128. SmartRent down a half a penny. Pfizer down 24 cents after earnings. It's 48.10. Hewlett Packard up 23 to 37.29. So early indications are a 123 gain on the Dow, 10-point gain on S&P, 1 point drop on NASDAQ. So it's not a strong indication in either way, which tells me if we don't have a strong start to the day, we're going to have a down day. That's how I sense it right now. If this market doesn't want to be up a half a percentage point, 3/4 of a percentage point right off the bat, then we don't have buyers. We just don't have buyers. The question now is, how many sellers are going to show up in the first hour, and how eager are they going to want to be selling stuff? That's what we're going to watch for. There you go. Nick, I shorted at 165. Okay, gotcha. So obviously you're out right now. This, what is it? Where are we at right now on this thing? Texas, we're at 172.68. So $7.68 you're out right now. It's down $1.32 today. It's backing off. I think you're going to make money on this trade. I do, but just be patient with it and let the slippage continue. This stock yesterday was under 170 before that rally. I think we're going back there. So that's 168, 169 for sure is where I think we're headed. Then from there, the slippage will likely continue. And that's where you're going to be within a couple of bucks of escaping this trade. And then you'll be at the money and maybe in the money. So depending on your tolerance level and timing, just sit tight. We're down 138. Not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. The Dow's up 67 and that stock's off. There you go. Let's see. Will the markets be flattish because of the Fed meeting? They'll be cautious. They'll be rumor driven. I just do not see happy news coming from the Fed tomorrow. I mean, how can it be good news? How can the Fed possibly give the market happy news tomorrow? They're going to raise rates. They're going to indicate they're going to raise rates more. They're going to indicate that they want to fight inflation. They're going to tell us that the job market is strong, and so the misery will continue. I just sense that's the deal. So the markets are under pressure, which means option writers are going to make money. And there you have it. You're an option writer, you're going to make money. Let's see. Let's go here. Let's go. What else is going on here? Thank you, Uncle B. You got it, Nick. No problem. People talk about unionization and stuff. I don't want to go into the unionization discussion because that's a rabbit hole that'll go a million directions. Kind of just want to talk about the market and what's going on. Let's talk about making money here. We're negative on the Dow now. I think we've gone down 8. So we're in the red on the Dow. The S&P is off, and Nasdaq is now off 40 points. So, like I say, this is the big one here. I think we're going negative. I don't see a buy wave of gargantuan proportions, even reasonable proportions. That means we're going lower. We're going lower to break even. We're going lower to break even. That's the game plan going for. And I don't know if we'll even break even. So option writers unite. There you have it. GameStop 118.25. If it can get to 120.22, you write contracts. Right now it's 118.25. I know some of you wrote contracts yesterday afternoon. I think you're going to make money. There it is. The volume on GameStop this morning, 69,000 shares. That's it. 69,000 shares of GameStop have traded today. Where are we going? We're not going anywhere. Leaked draft of Supreme Court opinion is the big news right now. This came out last night. Roe versus Wade may be overturned. Here's where I think this is going to affect business. Okay, I don't want to talk about the abortion debate, nothing like that. I want to talk about the market and this leaked document and the stock market. I want to put those two together for you. You have to think the big picture now if you're an American. Okay, the big picture is this. This is out. This is fact. And anyone who doesn't think that the Supreme Court has shifted to the conservative side is not paying attention to reality. The justices who have been brought in specifically were hand-chosen by Republican leadership to get the majority, specifically to overturn Roe versus Wade. And so now there's a war going on. There's a war against women in the United States, now in 20 plus states in the United States, regarding the right to an abortion, the right to medical services, and what have you. And so many, many, many more women feel the effects of all this legislation. And last night's leak was probably the best thing to happen to Joe Biden and the Democrats, not only at the federal level, but at state levels. This is huge. This is a huge leak, and this is a massive boost for the prospects of the Democratic Party in the upcoming midterms. Do not be surprised. Do not be shocked if you are going to start to notice the polls begin to shift as the radical right of the Republican Party will be exposed to the masses. The very far left of the Democrats, they'll stay there. The very far right of the Republicans, they'll stay there. No one's going anywhere. The middle ground. This is where the election is won and lost, and has been won and lost with Trump winning and with Biden winning. It's that middle group, 20 votes, 20% of the voters, whatever. This leak right here could well push the middle ground, majority of them, to the Democratic side, over to that side. You can bet your bottom dollar that the advertising campaign of the Democratic wing of politicians will be going after this decision, and that where women will be asked straight out, are you in support of your rights being trampled by courts or not? It's a yes or no answer. There's no, don't give me the God answer. Don't give me the religious answer. Don't give me the morals. Don't give me your philosophy. It's a yes or no question. And when it comes time to go into the ballot box, you have to decide whether to be one side of the argument or the other. And I have a suspicion that the sleeping massive majority that Biden would like to get might be awoken by this move that happened last night when the report came out that the draft indicates that they're going to overturn it. If this happens, it's possible, unthinkable, but possible, that Biden might retain control of the Congress, and they could retain and possibly increase the size of the majority in the Senate. If that were to happen, if that happened, where there won't be 50-50 ties and Joe Manchin can't make or break laws anymore, the Democrats would be unleashed for 2 years to get stuff through the houses. That could be one of the greatest economic booms for the U.S. economy that you're ever going to get. Because what's coming up right now, what has been in front of America, I talked about this yesterday, was nothing but investigations, roadblocks, no legislation. Even the budget would be tough to get through. The Republicans were going to stop everything dead in its tracks and start Hunter Biden investigations into whatever. And not even a pothole would get fixed. If the Democrats get both governments, get both houses with the White House intact, they are going to get to work. And they're going to put legislation out that will likely free up dollars to the lower middle class and lower dramatically. You could see Medicare or Medicaid down to as low as 50 or 55. That could happen. And you have to think about this in your own world that you live in. How many friends, neighbors, associates, co-workers, people you know are aware of, you've heard of, if they had free healthcare at age 50 or 55 and older rather than 65 and older, what a difference would that make to the workforce of the United States? It would be, in my opinion, it would be massive, because a whole bunch of Americans would be able to get treated that could go back to work and help alleviate the worker shortage, that kind of thing. And people would be off the government subsidization and making their own money, which means they're taxpayers. Instead of taking money out of the system, they're putting money into the system. It's just a reverse of the economy. In any event, it's a whole political football that is massive, and there is no simple answer to it. But this leak last night was huge, huge. And if this doesn't stir up the base of the Democrats, I don't know what will. This is a hornet's nest. It's like an angry, like army ants. You know, if you've ever been on top of an army ant mound in California, you see them from time to time. You take a stick and you just rub the sand on top of an anthill, a little ant pile on someone's lawn that's full of red ants, and they just come up. They just come up like foaming, like a pouring a glass of cola into a glass, and you think that you're just pouring in enough cola to get to about half, and all of a sudden the foam just comes over the edge, and you ask yourself, how does that happen? Why is it that when I pour my cola into a glass, it always explodes like that? That's what army ants do. They just come out of the ground looking, who's touching us? What's going on? If the if the Democratic women and supporters of Roe versus Wade show up at the polls this fall en masse, the Democrats will have the House and the Senate. That's what they need. And they've been looking for, the Democrats have been asking, what do we have to do to get our base to show up in the midterms? Because they're so defeated right now. They're so down in the dumps. They're so lackluster because of COVID, and they're out of energy, and they're just not reacting. And what do we have to do? Well, the leak of the document might be literally it. And that was supposed to come out in June. And if it does come out in June before the summer break, then the Democrats have all summer to rile up the base, to have them show up at the polls. And Biden will be there to go, I told you guys, if you let these Republicans keep bringing in Supreme Court justices, we're going to go, it's just going to be conservative. And is that what you really want? Is that what most of America wants? And here we go. So we'll see what happens. This was huge last night. Very huge. For the market, it could be telling. I have a feeling that if the stock market believes that the Republicans are going to get the Senate and or the House, the markets could lose 5,000 points. It could really be bad, because it'll be 2 years of nothing. It's a 2-year loss of economic anything. There will be no consensus. There's no way Republicans are going to do anything to make Biden look good, and there's no way Biden's going to do anything to make the Republicans look good, and they're just going to leave it as a saw-off and then go to the presidential election to say, I told you so. You let those guys in, this happens, and the other group's going to say, I told you so. If you leave them in there, this is going to happen. But if the Democrats get House control and Senate control, more Senate control, things could really move forward quickly. And then it's a matter of forget philosophy on the next election. Forget about the religious right and all that stuff. It's, what have you done for me lately? And it's going to be the Democrats going, here's what we did in the last 2 years. When you gave us the tools, we did this, and this for you as individuals, the country as a whole, the economy as a whole. You want more of this for the next 2 years? Then Biden's your president and the Democrats are for the two houses. We continue on. If you don't want this, then make the change. But if you go with the change, guess what you're going to get? And that's where the base of the Democratic Party has to be put each and every time for the Democrats to have a shot at having power. You get complacent, you get the Donald Trump factor. Once he had the House, the Senate, and the White House, he had it for 2 years. And after 2 years, guess what America did? It riled up and voted out the House. They voted out the Republicans from the House. And now you had a Democratic House, a Republican Senate, and that was a saw-off with Trump in the White House. And then, of course, the big election comes up. Biden gets the House. He gets the White House. Nancy gets the House. And the Senate went to a tie. Unbelievable shift. The question now is, can the Democrats finish the job and get all of it? Or are they going to falter and lose one or two of these houses? This leak might make the difference. I really wonder how this is going to go. I hope I'm not upsetting too many of you. I'm just saying this is what I see from way out here. We're down 21 on the Dow. We're down a third of a point on S&P. We're down 50. That's where we're at. And we got oil down 122 right now a barrel. ATIP down 4 cents to 165. Twitter down 9 cents. Rocket Lab down 21 to 725. SoFi down 12 to 621. GameStop down 344 to 116.13 as we are backing off on GameStop. This is the lower end of the range, 115.51, 115.80 right now. We're down 377 on the day. Let's see. Okay, Biden has issued a statement regarding the leak at the Supreme Court. Let's see. Biden calls for voters to elect pro-choice officials this November. Boom! There you go. Boom! Right there. President Joe Biden on Tuesday issued a statement following news that the Supreme Court looks poised to overturn Roe versus Wade. If the court does overturn it, it will fall on our nation's elected officials at all levels of government to protect a woman's right to choose, Biden said in a statement. And it will fall on voters to elect pro-choice officials this November. At the federal level, we will need more pro-choice senators and pro-choice majority in the House to adopt legislation that codifies Roe, which I will work to pass and sign into law. There it is. There is exactly what I just talked about just minutes ago regarding the state of the election. The midterm has come down to Roe versus Wade. And now, can the Democrats get the female vote? All minorities, all colors and stripes and what have you, can the women show up and put in pro-choice candidates across the board and ignore all the garbage from the QAnon and the conspiracy theories and all the crap and bring it right down to one question? One question. Are you pro-choice or aren't you? And that's the deciding factor right there. If the Democrats win that vote, then they might, because the numbers are in their favor, this could change everything. It's going to be a most fascinating thing to watch from the outside in, out here, outside of the USA. We're going to be really wondering this one. Whew, I don't know. Let's see what's going on. Gosh. Yeah, there you go. There's the credit savage. I find it very curious how Republican senators and House members that always are against abortion are always getting their girlfriends on the side to have abortions. Matt Gaetz is an example. Yuck. Nick, in my career, I was a foundryman, then a semiconductor engineer making IC chips. Now I'm working on an American dream, working hard and enjoying it. COVID put a dent, but I'm not giving up. I'm going to succeed. Nick, you are, and you are already succeeding, and you will continue to do so, my friend. As a Roman Catholic with 3 children, Credit Savage, who is against abortion, I find this news amazing. However, I think it's horrible how things between church and state have been eroded by representative activist judges. There you go. Nick, nice, never give up. Clay, the Credit Savage, house husband abortion is just a wedge issue. Republicans care about 2 things, power and power for the wealthy. Whatever it is that will keep their base angry, they will push it. Let's see what else is going on here. We're down on GameStop 117.11 down 246. The Dow's off 55 right now. Continuing on, the Credit Savage, Republicans are not too smart. Times have changed. Also, only 17% of young people vote in America, and I think this may be the big turnaround, and Republicans may have just lost a generation. Again, this is it. The Democrats are going to push the issue to the young, to the kids, the college students that are new voters. And they're going to go, are you really going for this group of righties, these ancient fossils with this religious end, or are you going to be over here on the progressives? What are you? Well, generally the younger are far more left than right. And if the Democrats can get the young vote, they can get the female vote in the middle and hang on to their base, they will hold off this movement in the midterms. It's going to be something. Clay, Republican politicians don't actually care about critical race theory, LGBT bigotry, or abortion. They just push all that because the base eats it all up, and they always need something to be mad at. There you go. Let's see here. What else going on here? Vilbus, I stepped away to go to the bathroom, and my GMC stinker hit should have been stinkier. Got back your calls. Well done. Swiss butter tip. Uncle, there's no absolute federal holidays in the U.S. They are called federal holidays because the feds get them off. Nobody else is required to offer pay time or time off. Credit Savage, Republicans don't care about anything except power. They have no morals, no scruples, or moral compass. They're animals, all of them, like MTG and Matt Gaetz. There you go. Not that we're going political, are we? Let's see. Vilbus, that's 2 GameStop covered calls sold and bought back this week with a profit of about $375 locked in so far. Vilbus, not bad for a Tuesday. Welcome to the new week. Michael, whatever happened to separation of church and state? Exactly. The church and state are one inside the Supreme Court right now. Every ruling coming out of the Supreme Court is religious wins. Everyone else loses. Look at the Boston case yesterday. Look at all these cases they want to take up right now. Religious rights and freedoms, and specifically the Christian religion is what we're dealing with here. These judges are so right wing on that area. It is so obvious, no question about it. It's wild. Looks like Hilton, Starbucks, SoFi are dropping now. Hilton probably will hit a new low early April near 145. Jason, by the way, Ford didn't make the 40-hour work week law. It was just an early adopter of it. Labor unions and trade organizations helped make sure of that in 1886, decades before Henry Ford. Nick, I want the state to stop giving free money so people can start to work instead of getting a handout. There you go. Let's see. I'd be happy with less government across the board, says John. Karim, Uncle Bruce, does age drop for Medicare, you mentioned, poses a positive for healthcare stocks? It could, actually, because if you increase the number of eligible Americans to get full health care coverage by 35 million, 50 million people, the private providers are going to have people who they can treat, and they'll be paid for it, guaranteed paid for it. Whereas with insurance companies, it's one of those, oh, he was denied, she was denied, now we have to chase that individual for the money. If it's government paying and it's covered, it's a procedure that's guaranteed to be paid for, fewer IOUs to these institutions the volume itself could be a win. We'll see. Tiff, Swiss butter. Holidays in Germany differ from state to state, but getting the day off is mandatory and not an option. There are some exceptions to certain jobs. All right. Let's see. Nick, I'm having a hard time finding good people to do productive work. The answer I get from many is why should I work if I get this money from the government? Why should I do that? Sean and Wendy, Uncle Bruce, your comments are on point. Biden just spoke out on women's rights to choose. There you are. Yay for Uncle Bruce. Thanks for educating us. Austin, why is being against abortion a religious deal? As a dad, I simply don't want kids to die. Well, I hear you, but women kind of want to have the right over their body to choose what to do with themselves, and I kind of go with that. As a male, I just don't feel I have the right to tell a female what to do with her body. I just don't feel that at all. My mom made that pretty clear to me. I remember at one point in time in my life, my mom made it very clear to me that you don't tell your girlfriend what to do with her body. And I'm going, that's a good point, Mom. I'm going with that. World Economics 101 with Uncle Bruce says, Bama, babe, good morning, everybody. Swear, yeah, what Tiff mentioned, I hear sometimes as well, when people don't have used all their days of vacation, they have to take it after 11 months to get the vacation payment as well. Max, in the last few decades, if the last few decades have taught us anything, all of these conflicts exist to insulate the political industry, a two-headed snake with only one tail to eat. There you go. Let's see. Yep, most young people are liberal in their way of thinking. That's true. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. That's true. A majority of the Supreme Court judges were appointed by presidents who did not win the popular vote. Republican presidents, yet they are seated for life. Real fascinating. Yes, it is. And then you had Mitch McConnell, who would not conduct a vote for Marilyn Garlick, what was his name? The Obama judge that he wanted to appoint to replace the judge that died. Year and a half to go in the election, wouldn't nominate him, wouldn't put him up. And Merrick Garland, that's right. Merrick Garland was supposed to be a Supreme Court judge. Mitch McConnell said, not going to do it. We have to have the election first. It's like 8 months until the election. We're going to let the American people decide what to do. Then when Trump was in office and Ginsburg died with a month to go, we're going to appoint a new judge right now, says our friend Mitch McConnell. And that's how the last justice got in, another conservative. And this guy wins elections. It's just amazing to me. Do conservatives hate women? Ask a woman. In my opinion, abortion is a medical procedure not to be used as birth control, but should be an available option if a woman is pregnant, rape, abusive relationship, women detected disabilities. Life is hard enough without forcing me to have a child I do not want. There you go. Credit Savage. Nick, to be fair, the state is just giving most people back their tax money they paid for years. Don't think it was a handout if it's a refund. Big corps get tax breaks, and that is a handout too. Splair, I really thought SoFi would go to 610 already, but it went 620 to 630. It's right now 638, up 5 cents. Low of the day, 618 on 5 million. SoFi is going up again. Dow is up 8 points. GameStop 120.05, up 48 cents. Might be able to write options later today. Let's go. What about the child's body, Uncle Bruce? Well, I'm not here to discuss this particular topic. I'm just here to tell you the base of the Democratic Party is about to explode. And, it is what it is. It's really not a political issue. It's a morals issue, depending on your morals. But there are those out there who just don't want one person's morals shoved onto somebody else's morals. And there's the big debate, isn't it? Whose morals are the way to go, what is and what isn't, right? Everybody has their opinion, and it is a hot topic. Max, Jason Law, a more constructive question is, does the political class care about the people they respect at all? Vash, Austin, what's the difference between a kid and a fetus? Pick nose. Sometimes a mother's life is at risk, and there must be an option for her safety. She continues trying if she's kept alive. Coyote, abortion laws feel like an extension of archaic laws for times when women were treated as property. Credit Savage, Republicans be like a mask, my body, my choice. No judge will tell me what to do. No lawmaker, no doctor. Coyote, and how does a fetus rights trump that of a mother's body autonomy? Says Coyote, that's true. Nicholas, household husband, laughing out loud. Sell my house. Don't tell a woman what to do with her body until you want her to take a vaccine. That's not enough to be known about. Then she's a bad person. Mitch wouldn't appoint Garland because it was an election year, but they shoved Amy Barrett through a few months before the election in 2020, almost like they're all grifter rats. Exactly. Also, Republicans, you want to have an abortion? Women, you better talk to a priest, a doctor, and your parents. It ain't your body. Splitter, to be honest, rather than telling what to do with their body, I would offer it. I would offer it as my children to take care of, so that it does not, so that she has afterbirth nothing to do with it, or she still says no, it's okay. Not sure what I mean there. Not your daddy's doobie. I don't think many people can properly define the difference between a fetus and a child. Max, also, let's take a look at the state of the social safety net and child services. Do you really care about kids? Sell my house fast. Upper Marlboro, Goyetti says women have bounties on them in Texas. But yeah, man, compare that to a vaccine, laugh out loud. I hope you survive the oppression. Sean and Wendy, Merrick Garland, who is now the Attorney General of the United States. That's right. And could still be appointed to the Supreme Court by Biden. It all depends. Swiss butter, not your daddy's doobie, their taste mainly. John, anyone following the stock market today? There you go. Just sold another GameStop 125 for Friday, 305, and on it goes. That's right. GameStop 119.53, down 4 cents. People making money in the market. We're down 10 points on the Dow. Twitter up 26 cents. SoFi up 7 to 640. 640 on SoFi now, up 7 cents. We've got the Dow down 2 and S&P up 14. NASDAQ up 69 at the moment. U.S. job quitting rate edges up to 3% in March from 2.9%. That matches an all-time record of people quitting their jobs, walking away from jobs that are no longer working out. And it's probably because they've already found another job. These people aren't unemployed. Trust me, they're not unemployed. They are gainfully employed elsewhere for more money, better benefits, better working conditions. And maybe, just maybe, some of those people are now writing options full-time from their home, watching Uncle Bruce every day. Maybe they're doing that. Gowdy Max, the I care about the baby arguments fall flat when the same people are also against social services for people and thinks everyone should sink or swim on their own, especially the poor kids. She says also child support is a quarter of salary approximate. Do you want to have to pay that for 18 years because of a broken condom? Not your daddy's doobie. Amazon needs to take a quick $100 pop. That's what it needs. Or poop, I guess. Cam, maybe instead of talking about abortion, we should just support women a whole lot better than we do. How about that? I am a big proponent of the Second Amendment. Don't like guns. Don't have one. Same with abortions. Don't want one. Don't have one. Let's see. Picnos, well said. Coyote Velbus, the reason someone wants or needs an abortion doesn't matter. Max, Coyote, yep. Then think about how Black children are treated by the criminal justice system, and the whole thing is even darker and more harmful. Scary, isn't it? Cindy, Vash, the difference, I guess, if it is wanted. D.H. Ruda, the repeal is based on Roe versus Wade. Abortion is not unconstitutional. It should only be decided at the state level, not the federal level. Sean and Wendy, we're not debating either, but when people have to choose a woman for herself and her children and grands, most of the time they vote for a woman's choice. The Dems can run with this. Yes, they can. That's right, Shiz. Freakonomics pointed out a decrease in crime 20 years after abortions were made legal. I think it was New York. Yes, it was. That's true. Some states treating abortion as murder and some states having it legal would create chaos. I'm not even sure how that would fly with Interstate Commerce Act, says Coyote. Shez, when it is illegal, lots of butchers with coat hangers and back alleys show up. Sean, Uncle Bruce, what do you share with us? What do you share with the stock effects? We are smarter because the stock market is much more than trading. Thanks for keeping us smart. I do what I can, kids. It is it's unbelievable. Here in Canada, abortion is legal. Here in Canada, any politician that tries to run as an anti-abortion politician doesn't get very far. There are a few in the House of Commons in Ottawa. They're representatives, but they were elected on a number of levels, and they happen to be maybe pro, no choice, anti-abortion. But on the party level, if you want to form the next government of Canada, if your leader is pro-choice and is a zealot in that, you're not going to become prime minister of this country. Not a chance. There are more women than men in Canada. More women vote than men vote in Canada as well. Women's rights in Canada have a much higher profile here than in America, for sure. But in Europe, I'm sure it's equal to. Our deputy prime minister is a woman who happens to be the finance minister, and the financial budget that was just put through has a lot of funding for women's causes, and I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. Of course, I have a daughter, so I see the women's perspective from a unique vantage point. I've got my wife and I've got my child, and she's now 33, 34, and I see the world through her eyes, and I know that she's up against it in many areas of society because it is a male-dominated world in many areas still in this country. But she is succeeding, and she's a taxpayer, and I'm happy that her world is getting better, not worse. But I'm still concerned for various issues regarding her safety and her future, without a doubt. But that's because I'm a father of a daughter. Now, if I were the father of a son or 2 boys or 3 boys, I might have a different outlook. I might have a different opinion. I may not even be as educated as I am now with regards to women's rights and laws and privileges and so on, which makes sense. I'm not blaming guys that have boys as kids. It is what it is. You're a dad. You're a dad. The kids you have, the kids you got. The world you're in is the world you're in. I get it. There are men and women out there with a certain background in life from a familial point of view. It might be religious. It might be cultural. I understand. We all come from a different place. None of us are alike. We're all unique people. But I can tell you that here in this country, it's different than elsewhere. But as a YouTuber, I'm very well aware that 65% of my viewers are from the United States, 10% of my viewers are Canadian, about 10% are from the UK, and another 10% from all of Europe. And so you can kind of see where, I get a mix of reactions from these comments. You see right here, all over the place. And there is no single one answer that will make everybody happy. I get it. I get it. As a YouTuber, boy, do I get it. And oh, do I get it. Sometimes I really get it. Anyway, there it is. That's the deal. Okay. Thank you for being here and being, I hope, tolerant about it all. We're just trying to figure out what's going on. I'm just trying to figure out from the market what's going on with the market. What's going on with the market? What's going on with the market? And there it is. Okay. Anyway, there you go. What else is happening here? We're at SoFi 632, down a penny right now. Dow down 131 points. GameStop down $1.72 to 117.85. Okay. That's correct. There you go. Rob, there's no single answer to make everyone happy. Everything you just say pisses me off, Bruce. Thanks, Rob, for your support. Fellow Canadian, thank you, buddy. SoFi is trying so hard. The rest of the market is pulling it down. Austin, John, of course, Max. These are tough topics and really charged up for a lot of people. This is truly one of those respectful online communities I have seen. Good job, everybody. Once upon a time, abortion wasn't even a political issue that the religious right cared about. It has been specifically weaponized. And unfortunately, there are those out there, who become powerful by being dividers, not uniters. And in certain areas of the U.S., there are politicians who are experts at riling people up to get elected and keep getting elected and keep getting elected and keep getting elected because they keep riling up their base and all the others around them. But they're not running on accomplishments. They're running on conflict. And it's sad. It is really sad, but it is what it is. This is the way it goes. Jen is in the house.
Hello.
Hello. How are you, my dear?
I haven't talked to anybody but myself so far this morning.
Yes, that's what happens. Same thing when I start my show. When I start this show, I know I'm about to talk for 3 hours straight. And my voice has to warm up and get going. In the first few minutes, I'm just rough. So thank you, all of you, for tolerating us.
Yeah, sound like a 2-pack a day girl.
2-pack a day girl, that's right. Oh, man. Well, we're talking this morning about the big leak that came out last night. The big leak. And this morning, I was just commenting about that, going, you know what? This could be the best thing to happen to the Democrats for the midterms.
Yeah.
Because it'll unite the female vote and the Democrats to show up and vote for pro-choice candidates. And I just finished talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 minutes later, headline pops up. Joe Biden released a statement on the leak and immediately came out and said, this is why you have to vote for a pro-choice candidate at every level of government. Otherwise, the same is going to continue. The erosion of women's rights will continue on. And you have to decide, are you pro-female or anti-female? Well, if you're a woman, it should be a pretty easy choice.
I think it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, yes.
That they really want things to go back to the way they were. Well, that's not going to happen.
No.
Women have rights. BIPOC people have rights. And we're going to insist on them.
There it is. I was talking about the difference between Canada.
There's more of us than there are of you.
That's right. I was talking about the difference between Canada and the U.S.
Yeah.
There are more women in Canada than males. More women vote in Canada than men.
More women register and vote in America.
And they've got to show up.
They have
to show up.
Yeah.
And if they do, they rule. But if they don't,
I'm not saying that all women are pro-choice.
No,
there are
true.
pro-life women, but we have to separate church from state.
Right? Comments right here. You were talking about it.
Your moral ethics are not necessarily my moral ethics, and it doesn't make yours better than mine.
And that's why the Supreme Court is in such a mess right now because with a 6-3 majority or whatever that is, the religious right dominates law right now out of the Supreme Court.
And
That's
so
what's
we
happening.
have little armpit town Brooks, Alberta, who next year will be celebrating Eid. Yesterday was Eid. It was the end of Ramadan. And so these kids have gone to the school board saying, we get off Christmas and we get off Easter, the school should close for Eid. It's just as valuable a religious holiday as yours. And so they've enacted that, and next year it will be a day off school.
That's right.
As it should be.
Yep, next year. That's going to be a day off up here. Yeah.
Yeah. Stay away from my uterus.
Stay away from my uterus. There you go.
Yeah.
You see the angle I had? And I got my daughter too.
I just want to burn them down. It just makes me so angry.
We're making Auntie-Jen angry now. We don't want that. I don't need an angry Auntie-Jen.
Whirlpool of black, and it just gets bigger and bigger. And I just suck it all in.
Okay.
So other than that,
so we're going on holidays next week sometime, or next 2 weeks sometime.
Stuck with me on an airplane for hours and hours.
Couple weeks from now, we'll be in London, honey.
Well, that'd be
We're
great.
going to be far away from the Supreme Court of the United States. We're going to be in London.
That's the problem. You're never far away from the elephant that lives
next door. That's true. That's true. There is that.
Yeah.
Oh my.
We do our own thing up here. So come on up here, ladies. Just get prepared to pay a lot for your telephone.
Well, it's good quality telephone.
It is. It's excellent telephone.
Yeah.
But boy, we pay a lot for our phones up here.
Rob said it best. He made a comment. Rob is a real active option trader.
Oh yeah.
Writer, buying back. He says there's no single answer to make everybody happy.
No.
Everything you say just pisses me off, Bruce.
See? You can't make everybody happy.
See, he's my man. He's there for me. You see?
Yeah.
There you go. Oh wow. Oh man. Let's see. The president who legalizes pot and protects abortion instantly becomes the most popular president of a generation. I tell you, I can't understand. I do not understand it. Why isn't it that the Democrats have brought pot legalization right to the front right now?
Yeah. Because
this is an 85-90% approval rating issue. And I don't know what they're waiting for. Is Biden waiting for the next, like just before the election to bring it up? Because the right-leaning, the Republicans are against it. The religious right seem to be against it. I think if he brought that to the fore,
I don't even know if it's
I think it would be a huge win.
I don't understand their complaint against it.
Well, again,
we have so much historical data now that you want a gateway drug, it's alcohol.
It's alcohol.
You want a drug that kills a whole bunch of people, it's alcohol.
It's alcohol. Yeah. Hello, Jen from John Anderson. The biggest anti-choice leftist who organized Planned Parenthood protest was caught hoarding baby fetuses in her fridge. Like, what the hell? People getting tricked into action by disturbed people, says 99 Nations. Rob.
Was that in a pizza joint in the basement?
I don't know.
Where it
Rob
was?
Picknell, something tells me Trump has paid and forced his share of women into getting abortions before. Giotti, let's see, Nicholas 100%. Rob, by the way,
very polarizing.
By the way, sold some GameStop calls for $125 for May 20 for $8. It's already at $7. Go baby, go! GameStop $117.25. We're down $2. And you have to remember, says Giotti, the people who push for abortion laws still get abortions done when it's their wife, their sister, their mistress. They just don't want your sister, your wife, your friends to have that. Pick knows, right? It's also a class issue. Anyone with wealth will have access, including GOP politicians. Villas, they are coming after the right to privacy and everything that has been decided on that foundation. Swiss Butter, Rob, wonder how people would have viewed Obama if he'd had multiple children with multiple women. I'm sure back in the day that would have been a hot topic. Vilbus, oh, so this is just the beginning. Michael, Am I too old to get aborted? Rob, Coyote, it's the same crap they pull with the vaccine. All these Fox
That's
News
right.
pundits have been fully vaccinated, yet spew out misinformation and crap about it.
Yeah, but they and their
Hypocrisies, all of
families
them.
are fully
They're
vaccinated.
fully vaccinated. Austin, kill someone equals not religious. Abortion equals religious. Huh. Yeah, the army can kill, but not anything else. It's amazing, isn't it? Gowdy,
Well-
Swiss butter. There are some vile things said about Obama here in the South for years. I can't imagine if he also had the gross history of someone like Trump. South would have let the U.S. again, laughing out loud. Rob, you didn't stay away from her uterus, Bruce. How would you explain that daughter of yours? Hypocrite.
No, I invited him in. It was my choice.
Yeah, I was allowed in temporarily.
And she stayed there.
And then
through
she
my
stayed
choice.
there at her. That's right. By the way, Rob, you are not right. Laughing out loud. Rob, Michael, never too old. In Canada, we have assisted suicide. It's like abortion for old people.
That's
It's
right.
true. We do have assisted suicide in Canada, and it's not a big deal. It is not a big topic up
Like,
here.
you don't get to go and say to your doctor, I'd like to kill myself on Friday. Like, they really do talk to you and make sure you're fine.
It is a very
You
mature
thought this out,
thing.
but-
Yeah. That's right. Nicholas Austin, you must have misread that commandment. It read, thou shalt not have abortions. Coyote, Rob, we have one state here that allows that, I believe. Washington State, if I recall. Sean and Wendy, yeah, for Auntie Jen, I get rode with you too. My body, my choice. There you go.
That's right.
Max, Bruce, the pharmaceutical lobbyists, Bruce. Rob, Bama baby level, I know, just being silly. Coyote, most right voters are also in favor of legalizing weed. Max, pharma companies will fight it as long as they can. The pharmaceuticals, they don't want weed to be legal in the U.S. Exactly right.
But, they'll get their toe in there too.
Oh, eventually they do, if
will.
allowed to. It depends on the legislation.
It's not like cannabis is the panacea that's going to cure everything.
No.
That's not true. We
No, it's
still need pharma companies.
That's true. Coyote, 99 Nation, that was a wild story to read, wasn't it? It was a mouth-opening shock. Splair, in case of alcohol, then you have a country like Germany that allows you to drink 1 to 2 beer before driving, and when you stay at home and smoke something, you're a black sheep. Rob, okay, bought back 125s already for $1.50 profit. Woot woot, he says.
Nice.
Swiss butter. Splair, I've been an alcoholic for years. I grow now instead of, and I feel so much better now. Yeah, Vilbus, just bought back my GameStop 125 for about $100 profit. Only took about 20 minutes. Waiting for another $2 bump to right again. Rinse, repeat. This is the way, says Vilbus. There you go. Well, we're 116.47 down 310 on GameStop right now. The low today 115.51. We're within $1 of the low. The Dow's down 37 points. S&P is up only 2. NASDAQ now down 32 as well. That's where we're at right here. People are making money in this market. SoFi 626 down 7 cents. We've been as high as 640, something like that. Thank you, everybody. Rob, Vilbus, riding that wave with you too, buddy. Riding that wave. Writing and buying back calls.
That's right.
Okay, here we are.
How to make money in a down market, how to make money in an up market.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Is there any ham left in the house?
No.
No.
Well,
Is
there
there-
is in a wrap in the fridge. Would you like it?
No, but there's bacon in the house.
There is bacon.
I'm thinking bacon and eggs
Bacon
scrambled
and
with a toasted bagel.
Okay.
I'm thinking that today.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're up for that, I'm
Okay.
up for it.
I can do that.
But yeah, so today's Tuesday,
So bye.
and 2 weeks from now we'll be in the UK.
Having beans and mushrooms and tomatoes for breakfast.
Pork and beans for breakfast.
Oh yeah.
I might skip that part of the breakfast.
I know. You're not a big pork and beans fan. I love beans.
Yeah, well, you know.
How I got to be an adult before I realized beans and rice was a thing, I don't even know.
Western Canada,
I
man.
don't even know.
You're in the Bible Belt out here.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone who was brought up in the Bible Belt.
Exactly. To
Oh,
be down
man.
in the Caribbean, you have it every meal.
Yeah,
And it's
rice and beans.
the best thing in the world.
It's the best thing ever, she says.
Carbs with carbs.
Carbs with carbs. Yummy.
Who doesn't love carbs? with
Yummy. The carbs with the carbs. You got to love that. Thank you, Auntie Jen, so much. As always, 99 Nations. I love that one guy raising hell in Florida. He's all, this book says you should sell your sister to slavery and it must be banned, as he referred to the Bible. Larry, 6 states allow assisted suicide. DC was the latest to allow in. Vilbus, I'm trying to just ride the waves up and down. Up to $453 profit in a week already. Nicely done. Austin, Michael, Matterport getting destroyed. Gayoti, beans have protein. Gayoti, I lived off rice and beans in college. Bama Babe, pork and beans are served every morning in Antigua. I thought that was unusual. Rob, beans are superfoods. Splair, yeah, the problem with alcohol is that it's not natural after distillation, the chemical process, and it really has no effective use medically. It's only good for cleaning wounds, for example. Vilbus, I have typically avoided small balling my GameStop cover calls, but it all adds up. Rob, we don't eat enough beans in the North American diet. Guess it's breakfast time now, says Not Your Daddy's Doobie. Michael, Austin, what else is new? There you go. Welcome all. We're at 116.12 on GameStop, down 345, touching 116 again. 50 cents away from the low of the day. Carvana 57.58 down 289. SoFi down 3 cents to 630. Rocket Lab down 26 to 720. Twitter down 8. Dow Jones up 9 now. ATIP down 3. Matterport down 37 cents to 568. Sixtera up 18 to 1182. 23andMe down 8.5 to 298.5 cents. That's got to be near or at lows. 286 all-time low for ME, and we're at a low today, 297. We're down in that neighborhood again. Spire, 170 down 4 cents. Highcroft Mining is up 5.5 cents. We got Smart Rent down 11. Pfizer up 99 cents to 49.33, trying a little rally. Hewlett Packard up 8 cents to 37.14. Robinhood 1004 down 44 cents. Vanek Vectors up 69 cents to 237.23. Home Depot down $1.72 to $3.05. Texas Instruments down 51 cents to 173.49. IBM up 16 cents, 133.20. Microsoft down 278 to 281. Apple down 34 cents to 157. Goldman up 377 to 314. Cisco up 19 cents to $50.06. Facebook down 34 cents to 210. Amazon up 396 a share to $2,493. Tesla up $7 to $910. Google up $494 to $23.48. Bed Bath Beyond up a nickel to $13.77. BlackBerry up a nickel to $5.91. Royal Caribbean down $1.10, down to $77.28. Target up 166. JP Morgan up 143. Costco up 78 cents. Walmart up 142. Nvidia down 15 cents. Disney sitting at 113 a share. American Airlines down 8 cents to 18.48. Airlines are not going anywhere. Netflix 198.50 down 90 odd cents today. Moderna up 443 to 146.50. The Dow Jones, as of right now, the Dow up 26.75 points on the day. 26.75 points is what it's gaining. We're up 12 on S&P. We're down a point on NASDAQ. We're not going anywhere. Breaking news. Schumer says he'll hold a vote on codifying the right to an abortion. Here we go. If the Republicans say no to that, we're on. We're on. I'm telling you guys, this is a big deal. The Democrats are going to grab this and run with it. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on Tuesday promised to hold a vote on legislation to codify the right to an abortion into federal law. And the New York Democrat blasted the Supreme Court's conservative majority for looking poised to overturn Roe versus Wade. Now that the court is poised to strike down Roe, it is my intention for the Senate to hold a vote on legalization to codify the right to an abortion in law, Schumer said on the floor speech. A number of Democratic lawmakers have called on Monday night and Tuesday morning for the codification of the right to an abortion, though such pushes have not succeeded, with an effort in February getting 48 votes in the Senate. Schumer also said the Republican-appointed justices' reported votes to overturn Roe v. Wade will go down as an abomination, one of the worst, most damaging decisions in modern history. Interesting stuff, what's going on here. This is going to be a huge, huge election issue in the midterms, and the Democrats are seizing on it, as they should. This is absolutely their moment to grab this issue. 2.938 is the 10-year interest rate right now. 2.938. That is the right now the 10-year interest rate on the 10-year bond. The euro is at 105.6, up just a bit today. The pound 125.37, hanging on just above 125. US dollar just taking a pause at the moment. Oh, so much to go on here, so much to follow, all at the same time. It is just unbelievable. What else is happening here? Let's go. Yeah, Matterport was downgraded to neutral today. Good morning from Olivia. Hi there. Austin says, I fart too much. No beans for me. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Cody is saying the Dow is only up a little bit. The VIX is on the move. If we rally straight through the Fed meeting, it'll be the first time I've seen it, but I've only been trading for a year and a half. Good morning, Bagel family from Alberta. What did I miss? Theo, you can start right now. Olivia, my body, my choice. I agree. Austin, because I'm greedy. I want a triple. I want a lot of money. Swear, who is now for abortion and who's against it? Democrats are for legalizing it. Yeah. Always the Democrats, and the Republicans, no. Mike saying exactly. Alberta, Olivia, as it should be. There you go. 99 nations. Sorry, can't turn the USA into the Taliban. I can't do it. Anyway, there you go. ATIP down 4 cents to 165. Dow Jones up 9.5 points, now 19.5 points. Twitter down a dime. Rocket Lab down 27 to 719. SoFi down 7 cents to 626. GameStop 115.92. Off right now 365. The low of the day 115.50 on GameStop. We're 40 cents away. Roughly from the low of the day on GameStop. Carvana 57.26 down 321. AMC down 29 cents to 14.97. Matterport down 39 to 5.66. The low of the day 5.55. The high of the day 5.92. 2.4 million volume on Matterport. Sextera up 16 cents. 23andMe down 6.5 cents to $3. Spire 168 down 6 cents. SmartRent down 12 to 471. Pfizer 49.58 up 124. Hewlett Packard 37.29 up 23 cents. So there's our markets, mixed all over the place. Up 66 on the Dow. Directionless market, generally speaking, trying to go up, then falters. Trying to go up, falters. 17-point gain on the S&P. Nasdaq up 13. Oil down 61 cents. All righty. John, I'm remanded to the basement for the evening after eating beans or sauerkraut. Okay, thanks, Elvis. Just try to understand USA better. And there's where we're at right now. Okay. What can I say? We are where we are, and that's where we are. Yeah, amazing. Austin, my wife's cousin, got married on Saturday. A 30-year-old married a 65-year-old. The grandma got me this time, though. She got you that time, didn't she? Olivia, same here. Splair, same here. Oh my. A 30-year-old married a 65-year-old. Oh boy. Definitely not for money, right? Michael's saying it's not for money, right? It's not for money. Who's the rich one, the 30-year-old or the 65-year-old? Who's the rich one in this equation? Who has the money? Oh my, John Alberto, my basement is kind of nice, so sometimes it's by design. Coyote debt paid. There you go. Oh my, we're up 83 on the Dow. We're up 20 on S&P. We're up 32 on NASDAQ right now. For those of you who have been taking advantage of the 4 for 3 deal, I'm going to mention this today because this is running out. We're offering 4 classes for the price of 3 on through my website. The key here is this: if you would like to get 4 classes, how to write options, become self-employed doing this. You need to do a donation of $299.99 to my PayPal account. The link, which is down below here, US fund donation, send that off, and then send me a private email. That is to my address right here, bruceforman@hotmail.com. Link is down below. Tell me what 4 classes you'd like. So you make your payment, send me a noticing. I just sent you the $299.99 on PayPal. Here are the 4 classes I would like to see. I'd like to get these. If you want to know what the 4 classes that you want are, all 12 classes, go to my website right here, stockmarketswithbruce.ca, and check out the classes. You'll find a link up here that says lessons or classes. You'll see that all 12 classes available. Pick the 4 you want. Send me an email. I will get you the links to the classes you would like to watch, okay? You can watch them again and again and again and again as many times as you want to get the handle on how to write options and make money in this market. Now, those of you who would like to become part of the class this weekend, if you want to join Jennifer and I live at 2 o'clock Eastern Time this Saturday, class number 13 is in session. We will be handling that class. It's all about stink bids, stink offers, and the philosophy of the stock market, how you have to outsmart your opponent. You have to understand where their head is at when you write contracts, buy back, buy stock, sell stock, and understand the market as a whole. Join us for that. If you'd like to be part of that class this weekend, what you need to do is you can either send me an email to this address and say, Bruce, I would like to join the class. Please send me a connection to your PayPal account so I can make a payment to the class. It's $150 US to be part of the class live. Jennifer's the moderator, and we'll be doing just like this here, except I'll have the whiteboard behind me, and I will be writing away on the whiteboard examples of what we're talking about, and you can interrupt me anytime you like with questions on anything you don't understand. After the class is over, what will happen then is we're going to send the raw live session to Emily, my editor, who's then going to edit it down, and we will upload it to the website later in the next week. And then all of you who've been in the class will get a link to the number 13 class, and you will be able to rewatch the edited version anytime you want going forward. The rest of you who have not attended the class, you'll be able to acquire that class for $100 US down the road through the website at your leisure. It will not be part of the get 4 for 3 deal, because that deal ends this week, and this class will happen after that. So class number 13 is not part of the 4 for 3 deal. It's a separate arrangement. If you'd like to if you'd like to be in the class, send me an email right here, brucefarmer@hotmail.com, and I'll get you the necessary info you need to become part of the audience and the student body. And we'll try to make ourselves smarter, get ourselves schmarter. All right. Thank you, everybody, for that. I appreciate it. Let's see. Rob, Austin, did she not shave for the wedding? Jeez. Alberto, John, Noyce, John, Fuzzy Lip Attack, Austin. The old guy is in a rock band, believe it or not. Nick, Uncle Bruce, I want to take the classes. Uncle Bruce, I want to take the classes. I need 2 more weeks to make the payment. Can you extend that offer? No. My money's tied up right now and I need time. No, can't do that. Austin, I watched the wife's dad all night to see his reactions. Watch the wife's dad all night to see the reaction. Every time they smooched, he shook his head. I don't think he wanted to hand her over. The 30-year-old wife with the 65-year-old guy. I see what he's doing. John, damn, that's tough. Dang, that's tough. Austin, is it a known band? I'm kind of curious. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I guess if you're the dad of a 30-year-old and you're handing her off to a 65-year-old guy, you might feel a bit creepy about it. I can understand that. Yeah, well, we'll see. Coyote. Oh, well, that's depressing. Oh my, I don't know. Alberto, shaking my head as well, but happiness, love has no barriers unless underage BS, I suppose. I guess. Oh gosh. The Dow is up 26, S&P is up 10, NASDAQ is down 13. the oil is down 64 cents right now. Okay. GameStop 115.60, 115.60 at the current moment in time. The low trade of the day 115.24. We're at 115.25. We're down to a new low of the day on your GameStop. We're down 432 right now on GameStop. Nick, I don't want to be too hard on you. I want you to take the classes. You need more time. I am not in a position to offer anyone extensions or anything like that. We're getting this done. We've had the offer out for a couple of weeks. It's just a limited time deal, as I promised everyone it would be. And if you can handle it, you can handle it, and that's it. We move on. And maybe a year from now, we might do another offer, or we might not. It all depends on just where we're all at. But right now, we're going to get this done. I'm going to create the next class, number 13. And then hopefully we'll do class number 14, number 15, number 16. We'll just keep adding new classes as we go along. And then down the road, we'll see what happens again. It's an ongoing thing that we're going to keep working on, one thing at a time. All right. John, you would have to think that band would have to be pretty solid if you could pull in a 30-year-old. Yeah, that was my thought, says Coyote. Austin, John, he wears white New Balance shoes on stage. Oh my God, John Bickman says, Austin, and jorts, right? Jorts, says Michael. Jean shorts too, says John. Says Austin. Alberto, the white New Balance has my vote. God. Oh man, if you say he has a fanny pack, I will die right now. Michael, jorts equals jean shorts. Is that what we have? Oh my gosh. The white New Balance shoes on stage. Oh boy. The Dow's up 11. The SoFi's down a dime. GameStop 115, 114.53 on GameStop. 114.53 new low. We backed off again here. 114.68 now on GameStop, down 504, backing off. Normcore, says Vilbus. Alberto is laughing. 114.68, 114.69 as GameStop is pulling back about $5 a share right now at the moment. Volume on GameStop today, 475,000 shares. Again, a relatively quiet day. Michael, white New Balance, jorts, and a tucked-in polo. Oh, man. Coyote, the white New Balance is so he can hit the barbecue grill after the band's set, smash his guitar on stage, storm off, stoke the coals in the grill. Michael, it is the way. Austin, Michael, I'll give it to the old guy. He looks the part, long hair and all, but dude, you got to upgrade the white New Balance. John, Michael, you were faster on the trigger than I. Jorts. Oh my. The Dow's up 10 points. Just went red, just went positive again. It's trying. SoFi down 11. GameStop 115.06 down 451. The low today 114.51 from what I can tell you at this point. Oh man. Alberto, too bad we can't share pics on here. I can only imagine sneakers, jorts, fanny pack, and definitely a man bun. Michael is laughing out loud. Coyote, those white NBs are going to go for six figures in 30 years. Let's bust through the low, says not your daddy's doobie. GameStop 115.10. If I'm being honest, I cut my grass in New Balance shoes. I find the foam to be very comfortable. There you go. Oh gosh. 114.51 is the low on GameStop. 114.87 is where we are right now. We are right back at it near the low. 620 on SoFi, down 13. The Dow down 21.8. S&P is negative, or is it? Let me see. Hang on. S&P is, what is it doing? My big ass iPad is slow. All right, the Dow is off 48 now. No, the Dow's off 19. I'll get that. We're up 2 on S&P. We're down 56 on NASDAQ. So 2 of the 3 indexes are in red now, as we are just up and down, 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 up and down. So what's going on? If you want a visual, Steve Carell wears the same shoes in the movie Crazy Stupid Love. Coyote, you have moved into the acceptance phase of aging. Laugh out loud, says Coyote. Oh, God. 114.87 on GameStop. The Dow down 23. Oh, God. John Bickman, laugh out loud on my way to 42 in October. Oh, yeah, on my way to 42, baby. Well, that means you can marry a 20-year-old. Think about that, Oh, boy. Yikes. Okay. Interesting. Tesla, Shanghai eases COVID restrictions headline. Tesla is among reopened businesses. But how many weeks have they shut down? How many thousands of cars did they not produce? They are going to be behind. I think so. Let's see. The silver fox is silver lining, says Coyote. I don't know. Yeah. It is what it is. My goodness. Oh boy. Alrighty. By the way, some of you folks, I just want to let you know that some of you folks do send me, emails, and what happens is they end up in my they end up in my junk mail. I don't know why, but they just do. And I try to check my junk mail as often as I can. But from time to time, junk mail will show up late in the day into my server, and I won't see the message till the next morning when I'm up. And so if you think I'm ignoring it, it's not that at all. It's just the unreliability of the sometimes a Hotmail account, sometimes Outlook. It just doesn't appear quickly. I know a number of you also send me messages straight through to my Gmail account, which is connected to my website, because in my website you can send a message to me. Those also sometimes take a while to get to me. And so I try to react as fast as I can to any requests for 4 for 3 deals, classroom attendance, all of that. But it can be an hour or two from time to time, or half a night, where I don't get the info. So you got to just bear with me. I'm working on it, and we'll get it to you. Here we go. Oh yeah. Thank you so much, Auntie Jen.
You're welcome.
Woohoo! Yummy. We're up and running with bacon bits, like chopped up bacon with scrambled egg. Here we go. Bacon and egg right there with a little bit of Heinz 57 on it. Oh yeah. The breakfast of YouTube champions, including a toasted bagel with butter. Butter on a toasted bagel, sesame seed bagel. Life is pretty good. Yeah, I'm not complaining with that. No beans with this, though. No beans. No. Michael, best suite at the old folks' home. Sorry, Bruce. Austin's laughing. John, Uncle Bruce, I'm not losing half my stuff just to fool around with a woman half my age. Swear, A&B will have to try a heavy surprise for update tomorrow after earnings, I guess. It's bagel time. Splair, what is the difference between a normal Heinz and a Heinz 57? I don't know. I'm not sure what is what. But Heinz ketchup. I love it. Heinz ketchup, owned by Warren Buffett. That's right. I believe they still own that. I believe they do. We're down 70 points on the Dow. GameStop 115.19. S&P is red, down a point. NASDAQ down 60. Okay. Oh boy. That bagel. Oh, lovely. Scrambled bacon and egg with a toasted bagel. So good. No black pepper on it. No. Thank you all for being here today. Appreciate these thumbs ups you've already given us. 211 thumbs ups. Awesome sauce. Thank you. We're rolling. GameStop 115.54. Down 403. All right. Interest rates 2.925% on the US 10-year. A little lower today, just a little lower, which is helping the euro at 105.39 and is helping the pound at 125.21. Not a lot, just a little bit. It's not a big surge comeback or anything like that. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. Michael, let me guess. His band covers Jimmy Buffett. Austin, Michael, they are hardcore rockers. He headbangs. Oh man, Michael's going. Oh, Obama. Stocks are going down. Stink offers are going up. There you go. Putting in the stink offers to try to get back deals here. Scoring money. That is the name of the game here. Buying back call options for less than you sold them for. The name of the game. The Dow off 48. Okay. There we go. Thank you all for being here today and hanging out with yours truly. Love that you're here. Hope you're making money today, as we are following a whole lot of activities at the same time. We're down 60 on the Dow now. Yeah, Vilbus. I'm wondering if we can go, that GameStop go back up again. 115.42. Can it go up to 117? I can write calls again. Well, we'll see. It might, although it might not. It's been down today. It did start off this morning at the 120 mark, but it couldn't last long there. Rob is saying, Vilbus, I set my stink offer for the 125s for May 20 for 750 for May 20. See if they take me out. I guess you really are only as old as you feel, says John. But then I'm like 80, says Michael. I feel 80. I'm feeling old, baby. We're down 40 on the Dow. Oh boy, so good. All righty. Let's take a look at some of our other favorites here. GameStop at 115.51. AMC down 46 cents to 14.80. That's not helping, so that's going to keep GameStop under pressure. Matterport 558 down 48. Cyxtera 1190 up 26. ME down 9 at 298. Spire 166.5 down 7.5 cents. Smart Rent down 17 cents to 466. Pfizer up 94 to 49.28. Hewlett Packard up 2 cents, 37.08. Robinhood 984 down 64 cents. It's backing off today. Vanek is under now, down 44 cents. Home Depot down $2. Texas Instruments down 88 cents to 173.12. Been negative all morning here. IBM at 132.71 down 33 cents. Microsoft down 3.19. Apple is off 39 cents right now. Goldman Sachs up $4. Cisco unchanged. Facebook down $2.40. Amazon down $5. Tesla up 4 to 907.60. Google up 12.94 to 23.56. Not a lot of changes in this market here. A lot of no commitments. Like no one is committing big money. The Fed meetings tomorrow. That must be it. Zeta State's here. 214 thumbs ups. Thank you. Michael, where's DQ today? Good luck in the series, sir. Pittsburgh Penguins are playing tonight. I think they're playing the Rangers. I think so. We'll see what happens there. GameStop 116.09. Michael's thinking Rangers in 6. Who cares? I like the way you think, Mike. We'll find out. The playoffs are on in hockey. Oh boy. Oh, scrambled eggs. Oh, they good. Is hockey on? Nothing better than NHL playoffs. And I love football, says Michael. Alrighty. Comment from Bilbus. Rob, yeah, I'm wondering if it's going to do this down, recover, down, ratcheting for a better part of the day. I might right here in the 16 range be ready to buy back a small profit. In and out, in and out. Well, see. Watch the big markets for direction. Playoffs started last night, Boston, just so you know, for Michael. Calgary Flames start their first playoff game tonight. Dallas in town. Flames are hungry. Oh, pardon me. Breaking headline. Sounds like Mitch McConnell blasts the leak of the Supreme Court's draft decision on Roe versus Wade abortion ruling. Oh, poor Mitch. That's a crying shame, pal. He may have just figured out something that I have a suspicion about. He may have just figured out that if things go the way they're probably going to go, he's not going to be leading the Senate in November. He's not going to be Senate Majority Leader. That might just be becoming apparent to him. Michael's thinking the Flames are going to win that series between Dallas. Rob, I'm still hopeful for around the 120. Rob wants the right options on GameStop. I'm going to keep my stink offer. If it hits, if it doesn't, it doesn't. Rob, 117 now, still struggling. 116.86 on GameStop, trying to go a little higher. Needs to move a little higher for Rob to get those trades done. The Dow right now up 32 points. S&P up 12, NASDAQ down 23. Still a mixed market. Rob Vilbas, is that you at 705? Games at 117.01, 117.17 on GameStop right now. Down 240, a little recovery from the low of 114.51 at this point. It's been a tight range, 114 to 120. We've only traded $6 today. That's all we're doing today on GameStop so far. Dow is up 38 points. Pardon me. Dow's up 38. And we've got S&P up 13, and we have NASDAQ down 22 at the moment. Mixed market right there, okay? Coyote, I'm watching my covered calls get crushed. This never gets old. Vilbus, no, I've got a 125 in for the 13th at 5.25. Rob, gotcha. Not your daddy's. Do we need some rainbow bear power to come on in here? We need some bear market coming in. Oh, man. We'll see. We're up 43 now on the Dow. It's trying to get a little better. Still negative quotes all over the place. Sixter is up 33 cents. Hycroft Mining's up 5.9. Pfizer up 119. Hewlett Packard up 27 cents. IBM up 2 cents. Apple up 20. Goldman up 480. Cisco up 9. Amazon up $1.79. That's nothing. Tesla up $8. Google up 18.80. BlackBerry up a penny. The only other, there's a very few greens. Target up $2. JP Morgan is up $2. Costco's up $2. Very consistent there. Walmart up 176. eBay up 72 cents. Royal, hang on a minute, where are we at here? Oh, DraftKings up a penny. Moderna up 346. Micron up 63 cents. Coinbase up 376. Boeing up 270 to 151. AT&T up 22 cents. I mean, we have green, but not like massive green numbers. Dow's up 74 right now, trying to establish its best run of the day. It needs to break 33,188. It's at 33,135. We need about 50 points more to have a high on the day here, about a 126 high for the day. It could happen. Might not. S&P is up 22. NASDAQ is up 5. Very, very quiet day. It is not a, intense market day today. We're up 91 now, up 94 on the Dow Jones. GameStop 117.56, down 201, trying to come up a little higher. Rob, speaking of a doobie, time for a walk. Have fun. Coyote, Bear Nation, honey is money. Up 104 on the Dow now, a little more of an improvement. GameStop now 117.83, going for 118, and that'll bring Rob and the other guys a little closer to selling contracts again, if that's what they're going to pull off. Let's see if they can write calls at some premiums. Time will tell. Okay. Okay. Lots to watch. The Labor Department in the United States reported a seasonally adjusted 11.5 million job openings in March, an increase from 11.3 million in the prior month. Looking at other headlines here. Biden is going to visit the Lockheed plant as the U.S. ramps up Javelin production for Ukraine. The company's Alabama factory is looking for workers to assemble missiles amid a national labor shortage. A company called Chegg, C-H-E-G-G, Chegg shares plummet as students choose jobs over college. The study materials provider says inflation and higher wages are driving more students to delay or refrain from higher education. Interesting stuff. NFT sales are flatlining. Headline: the sale of non-fungible tokens fell to a daily average of about 19,000 this week, and 92% decline from the peak of 225,000 in September, according to data website Non-Fungible. Many home buyers hurried to lock in purchases in the first quarter before the rates climbed even higher, according to real estate agents. Here's a story from China. Headline: elderly COVID patient was out in body bag, loaded for cremation. She was alive. The incident, caught on camera from at least 2 angles and shared in videos that went viral, has struck a nerve in China. Oh boy. Oh my. Wow. Mm, 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 mm. Just looking for any other headlines that might be of interest to us. Expedia stock falls sharply, even as it sees a robust summer economy. Interesting. Expedia was falling sharply Tuesday, even after revenue in the first quarter. Even after revenue in the first quarter rose more than 80%. The analyst, the CEO, Peter Kern, told analysts the online travel company was feeling very good about the summer already recovery. An analyst, however, said the company's strong financial recovery already was priced into the stock, and it's down 15% right now, down to 151.54. Yikes. They reported first quarter revenue of nearly $2.25 billion, up from $1.25 billion a year ago. Analysts surveyed expected revenue of $2.25 billion. Gross bookings in the quarter jumped 58%. The company reported an adjusted loss of 47 cents a share versus expected loss of 48. You know what blows me away is that a company that can generate revenue of $2.25 billion loses money. How is that? That's something I can't get through my old cranium here. A company with 2.5 billion in quarterly sales, that's 10 billion a year in sales, loses money. Okay. I'm obviously of another generation where, math, I studied, when math was different than it is today. The new math obviously has passed me by. The fact that the stock is $151 a share also blows my poor brain out of whack, because I think about, how can a stock be $151 if it loses money? What? 10 billion in sales, okay, but there's no money in it. There's losses. Why would a stock trade at such price? But then look at GameStop. GameStop is 118 a share, and they lose money. So okay, and they have money in the bank. I'm sure Expedia has money in the bank. They can pay their bills for years and years and keep on going, and keep losing money. But eventually, you kind of wonder. You make money, wouldn't you? The Dow, by the way, is up 121. Speaking of making money, the Dow's up. Anyway, Vilbus Rob, I'm sitting on the edge of this one. Sold. GameStop 118.15 right now is the last trade. Up down 142 right now. Vilbus filled. Maybe should have waited to see when this slow rise halts. Vilbus, but I'm not ready really concerned. Even if it runs up some more, it'll come back down. Karim, Bruce, what are you gonna air in Europe? It's gonna be nighttime or something? Or when are you going on the air? Are you asking me when I'm going on the air? Because I expect to be on the air at the same time right here for you guys. The first 3 hours, my first 3 hour show, 8:30 Eastern until 11:30 Eastern. That will work for me in Europe. The late show probably won't work, but this one will. I love when you sell a contract and it opens at $20 in the green as soon as it appears in your portfolio. I love it. Uncle Bruce, do you think Matterport can recover? Recover to what? Recover back to $10, back to $37? Some, like, one person's recovery is another person's hope, dream, and aspiration. I think in the long run, Matterport will go up in value. I'm surprised it's as low as it is. I'm shocked at how low it is. But I'm also not surprised as to why. because of all the outside factors that are influencing stocks right now, not just the company's own performance. It's the market as a whole that is under pressure, and Matterport is part of the whole market. And that's what we have to tolerate. We're up 159 on the Dow, make it 192. We're up now on the Dow, 192. We're up 34 on S&P. We're up 57 on NASDAQ. So NASDAQ is up 0.46. The S&P is up 0.82, and the Dow is up 0.57 of a percentage point. All three are higher right now. GameStop 118.52 down $1.06 at the moment, trying to come back up. SoFi down 1 penny. SoFi is about to go green. Michael, I don't understand the downgrade on Matterport. Honestly, there's always news about their business expanding. I'm with you there. Nick, all the people who would be assembling these missiles should know that they're contributing to someone's death. That is not a good job to take. There you go. Vilbus, laugh out loud, sold that contract, bought it back immediately for $20 less, then rewrote the same one and sold it immediately. Nick, nice, Vilbus. Bama, it is called cooking the books to avoid taxes. Vilbus, it was only $19 profit, other fees, but it took less than 5 minutes. I mean, eat, says Kareem. A Splair in Germany, it is 14:30, 17:30, and 21 to 2200. And late night starts, I think, at 1 or 2 and goes till 3:34. Mostly, I have to take a nap mostly between closing and late night, says Splair. Yeah, I know it's a 7 hours difference for me to do the show, the 8:30 show for you. But that is in the afternoon, and that I can handle. The late show might not get done. I might not be able to do the last hour anymore. It might be too late for me. We're going to play that by ear and see how it goes. I'll let you know. Try to do the best I can. We're up 180 on the Dow, 169 actually. SoFi down 2 cents. GameStop 118.43 down 114 right now. Excuse me. We are watching a whole lot of stuff going on here. We're up 28 on the S&P. NASDAQ up 41 points. We're barely up 0.6 of a percentage point here on the S&P. We're up 0.44 on the Dow, 0.25 on NASDAQ. Headline, Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade will boost Democratic turnout for the midterms. That's right. That's what I said. Wholesale clubs are selling gas so cheap they're losing money, says Barron's. Wholesale clubs. Interesting. GameStop 118 to 118.20, up 157 at 118 a share. The Dow now up 162 at the moment. Can it hold this gain? Or will it lose some of this gain? Time will tell. 117.79 on GameStop. A little pullback right now, just a little tiny pullback. SoFi up, only down a penny. SoFi down 1 penny. Twitter down a dime. Other stocks that are close. ME down only 4 cents to 303. It's come back a bit. Let's see. Pfizer up again, 137 gain to 49.71, and Hewlett Packard is up 46 to 37.52. That's a gain. We're positive on Vanek now, up 90. Home Depot is positive, plus $1. Texas Instrument is plus 2 cents. Has come back to 174. IBM is up 18 cents. Microsoft trying to come back, still down 169 a share. Apple is positive, $1 to the good, 106. Goldman Sachs up 725 to 317.67, moving higher. Cisco down, is up 33 cents, 50.19 or 50.15, $50.15. We're down 30 on Facebook, almost breaking even there. Amazon is up $15, Tesla up 11, Google up 26. We've gone green over there. The Dow is up 164, SoFi down a penny, and GameStop 118 even, down 157. Okay. That is the story here on these markets. We're coming into the end of our first 3-hour show. We got 10 minutes to go here, and we're done for the first 3 hours. A turnaround on the Dow, but not incredible. But it's up. It's 170 to the good. So Okay, will it lose that later today? Is this a dead cat intraday bounce? We'll have to find out. We'll see what the internals look like as we keep going. The oil market down $1.12 a barrel. It's not catching a mega wave of economic recovery, nothing like that. 118.21 on GameStop, trying to establish a little better of a move there. Time will tell if it can even get back to 120 or will it back off to 115 again. SoFi unchanged at $6.33. We are unchanged on SoFi. The low of the day, $6.18. Volume 9.7 million. We are talking dead quiet. There is nothing going on here. Rocket Lab down 22 cents on 1.1 million. Nothing going on. It's recovering. Twitter down 12 cents. The Dow now up 200 points, but not bringing volume with it, which is interesting. Kind of the market's sort of saying, we'll go up, but we're not going to go up with everybody participating. That's a bad sign. That's technically not good. 118.20 on GameStop. Carvana down 330 to 57.22. AMC down 33 cents to 14.93. Matterport down 43 cents to 5.62. Cyxtera up 41 to 12.05. 23andMe down 2.5 cents to 304.5. Spire down 8.5 cents. Hycroft Mining up a dime to 140. Smart Rent down 15.5 to 467.5. Pfizer 49.81. Hewlett 37.58. Market is gaining 197 on the Dow, 34 on the S&P, 58 on the NASDAQ. But the NASDAQ is not leading, it's trailing. S&P is the leader, and the Dow is in second place. So it's a mixed bag here. It's a mixed bag. There you go. All right. So I invite you to join me later today at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Thank you, all of you who have subscribed to this channel. Love you. Become members of the channel. Really love you. Gold Bagel members. Oh my God. Mega love you. Those of you who have taken classes, buying up those 4 for 3 deals, you let me know what classes you like. We'll take care of you. Those of you who want to join us this Saturday for a live class, stink bids, stink offers is what these guys are doing right here, right now. We'll show you how to perfect this, and we'll also talk to you about the psychology of the markets. Join me. Send me a private email. Say, Bruce, I want to join your class. Please send me the info I need to do, and I'd like to join in right now. We'll register you in there and get you locked up so we can send you an email Saturday morning with your exclusive invite to the private live class, 2 o'clock Eastern time, Saturday afternoon. Okay, 11 o'clock Pacific time, 2 o'clock Eastern time in New York. Thank you all for being with me today and your kind words and messages. It's so much appreciated. Have a wonderful afternoon. Stay healthy. We'll talk to you later today with an hour to go as we finish off today's market and see how much richer you're getting. All right, guys, thanks, and bye for now.